This video is all about the best possible start to the Way of Winter in Once Human. The Way of Winter is one of several scenarios you can play, and this guide is intended for people who have never played Once Human before, or who do not have characters that they are transferring onto these servers. Though it is recommended if you are brand new to the game that you play Manabus or Evolution's Call, preferably Manabus, as there's only one Evolution's Call server. So you should really play Manabus if you are brand new to this game. But for the sake of the guide, I will be providing you how to play and thrive in Way of Winter without having already made a character elsewhere. Now, just a quick warning, if you're brand new to Once Human, play Manabus. I'm being serious. I have a guide, go check it out. It tells you exactly how to play Manabus, but here's why Way of Winter is not as good, because Way of Winter does not give you as good gear, perks, or blueprint. It does not have synergy like Manabus does. It lacks a lot of gun accessories, deviants that are critical for certain builds, like the Pyro Dino, for example, and quest rewards making the early game easy. It does not have any of those. Progression is much slower on Way of Winter. The map is more empty. The overall play experience is more suffering. It's just not fun. There's even extra survival mechanics where you freeze or burn to death. And Way of Winter is more team-based than solo-based. As a matter of fact, if you don't have friends, I wouldn't play Way of Winter at all. And the game is even nice enough that when you try to start on a new server with a new character, it even tells you, are you sure you want to create a character on this server? This may be a challenging scenario for new players. For a smoother start, play the Novice season instead. So real quick, I want to talk about character creation. There's a few things to keep in mind, and it takes a premium currency to change things later on, so make sure you have your character the way you want him or her to look. Now, here's the few things. Your body weight has to do with your ability to shoot, roll, carry more objects, have more damage, and so on. Now, what's important is that in Way of Winter, you don't want to freeze to death, okay? Freezing to death, the early game is the hardest, alright? Getting warm or getting heat resistance later is very easy, but early on, you want cold resist, and so you want to be overweight. I'm not joking, you want to be overweight, alright? So what this means is you go here to the body slider, and you go to fitness, and you crank it to 100 so that you're a thick boy, or girl. And so you want your character to be overweight so that you have that weapon stability plus 15, that's huge, but mostly you want the cold resist plus 5. Very important for early game. Now, and one other thing too that's important is do not touch the height slider. I know in Manabus it's better to be tall so that you can climb certain things and shoot over railings, but in Way of Winter, there are crawl spaces, and if you adjust your height slider above 50, like if you put it at 100 or whatever, then you can't fit into the crawl spaces even when crouching, and so leave this at 50, and leave your long legs at 96. Don't make them longer, don't make them shorter, just don't touch it. That way you can fit into that crawl space. And I know making a fat character is a deal breaker for some of you. You don't have to do this. It's just going to save you a little bit of time for that extra cold resist. Also, when naming your character, if you name it something with Chinese characters or ASCII characters or something like this instead of this, it makes you much harder to report as long as you never type in the in-game chat and you never have any constructed buildings that someone can click on and report. So if you have a very unusual name or something like this, that's a way harder to report manually by them manually typing it in, and so this makes it way harder for you to get in trouble if you're a griefer, but there's not really much you can grief on Way of Winter anyway. In the tutorial, run over here to this A073 memo, push F to investigate, and the top left of your screen will be the code to the door, which is 0728. So you just type that into here. I'm not going to hold your hand through the tutorial, but I will pop in every once in a while and give you tips and tricks if you need it. Now, one thing to note is that V's voice actor is going to change, because in the initial tutorial, that is when the game first came out, and for whatever reason, they didn't use the same guy. My best guess is that the real-life voice actor, I think his name's Dustin Rubin, his house burnt down in the California fires. He didn't die, but maybe that caused him to be unavailable to voice V in the Way of Winter. So just be aware the voice will change. It's not your sound system going out. When you get to this part where the game wants you to talk to Mitsuko there, just continue running this direction, because there is another med kit you can loot. It's not a big deal if you don't get this. You don't have to start over. It's just extra loot. At this point, make sure you loot everything in this room. There's some really good stuff here. You get quite a bit. 60 shabby fabric is huge early game. You don't want to not get that. And I didn't mean to sit down at the damn chair. I meant to loot the box here. But you absolutely need to freaking grab this loot, okay? And then you have to open this anyway to continue the quest. That's going to give you the pickaxe so that you can start chopping trees and getting the gravel and stuff. And don't spend too much time doing this. I know a lot of you, especially when I first started playing, you want to sit here and collect like a big surplus of materials. Don't bother. Just do what the quest tells you, because you can't level up in the tutorial, and leveling is going to be one of your biggest endeavors to overcome so that you can equip stronger gear. Now, one thing you can do now is get a whole bunch of dirty water, because getting dirty water is pretty hard in the Way of Winter. There's only a few spots, early on at least, that you can gather it from. And yes, there's a cat meowing in the background. So if you want to get a whole bunch of dirty water now, you can. But you don't have to. I'm going to show you, a good source early on to get it from. Now, at this point where it wants you to click on this thing to fight, go ahead and do so, of course. And we're going to skip this cutscene here. Now, there's something important to loot early. It's not super important, but there is a weapons crate right here. Go ahead and loot that. That's some extra arrows. We're just going to disassemble them for later. But yeah, go ahead and take out the boss. Super easy. And while this boss does spawn enemies, and you can kill the enemies for materials, it's not really... It's kind of a waste of time. Like, yeah, they drop random things, but it's not stuff that you actually need. When the game prompts you to select a starting point, make sure you go to this cage and that you unsynchronize and that you withdraw it from the cage, because there has been bugs where you start the game without the butterflies. So this at least guarantees you a butterfly if the game fails to load one for you when you start. Now, where should you land? And I'll show you that. So the best starting location is going to be Onyx Tundra and Desolate Dock. And the reason why this is the best starting location is it is nearest to all the early quests we need to do. It's closest to a fresh source of dirty water right here. It's closest to what's called Hale's Moving House, which is a once-a-week lootable little mission thing you can do. This is ideally the #1 best spawn. It puts us near a bunch of areas with lots of loot so that we can get started much faster than over here. Like, this is way out of the way. Or over here, this is also out of the way. And definitely, like, you don't want to start over here at all. There's no reason to. It's just a waste of time. Don't start over there. Start right here at Desolate Dock. And when it's going to throw you into the sky, and you want to land right here, kind of northwest of this big lake area. This is where we want to establish our starting zone right here. So, again, this is what it looks like. You click Enter World, and it's going to throw us in. I'm going to open my map and just kind of start traveling north here, just like this. And again, I want to land over here near this lake. Now, I'm assuming that you picked a server that is on week 1. If you are not on week 1, this house won't be here. This is right here, this little area right here on the map. This is called Hale's Moving House, all right? And by the way, you can let go of your glider and then you can re-glide before you touch the ground and you won't take damage. This house, this is Hale's Moving House. It moves around once a week upon server start. So I'm filming this on a Sunday, so next Sunday or Monday is when the new Hale's Moving House will happen. Whenever you get to the front door here, which is facing the lake, there will be these crazy hands. Go ahead and attack them. The house will then uproot itself and start moving around. You're going to attack these creepy arms until they split their orbs up, just like so. And then what you're supposed to do is push your Q button, which snaps your fingers so you can see hidden objects. And you'll notice that there is a hidden, one of the orbs is over here. So the orb actually flies into this picture frame, so we're just going to attack the picture frame with our machete until the game won't let us anymore, until it stops taking damage. There we go, the orb flew out. And I'm going to equip that crossbow that we start with from the tutorial and find the other orbs. So apparently there's one, this desk right here is another one. Okay, we don't need to shoot it because it's a desk. Sometimes it'll be a ceiling light or something too low on the ground for you to slash, so you'll have to shoot it. Alright, so that's the second orb. And then the third orb is somewhere else in the house, so we're going to run around the house and click our fingers. And it's the light switch. Wow, okay. So yeah, this is too small of a target to slash, so we're just going to pop some arrows into it. Doesn't take very long. And this completes the puzzle, and we're going to get rewarded. You can collect this reward once a week, like I said, every time the house moves. There we go. And so this orb will fly back to the crazy hands, and then we will collect a chest. It's very important that we do this right now and just knock it out first thing. It's a really good reward. It's going to give us a deviant that we can use to craft stuff. It's going to give us acid, which is an invaluable resource. And there we go. Alright, so awesome stuff. Also controllers, they're doing away with controllers, so don't worry too much about that. But before we do anything, we're going to now hold tab and summon V and do some starter quests. So you're going to hold tab, and we're going to summon V here, and then we're going to talk to V and do his stuff. So we're going to talk to him about learning about the surroundings. He's going to tell us that we need cold protection, and a bunch of other very basic things, and we're just going to go ahead and knock it out. He wants us to collect logs and gravel. Gravel can be collected by mining. Also, we're freezing to death, so we're just going to put a camp down. This is how you avoid freezing to death, by the way. You throw a camp down, and you can respawn at the camp. And because our health is low, we're just going to self-destruct real quick. Again, this is a cheap way to cheese the early game without having to rely on spawn points. Alright, so there we go. And again, don't worry about item drops. We don't have anything we're going to lose anyway. The game isn't full loot. And every time we drop a campfire, we just push T to drop a campfire. It takes logs and gravel, which you start the game with. It becomes a mobile spawn point. But anyway, to get logs, you just chop trees. And to get gravel, you can break copper or you can break stone. So we're just going to break the copper because we're going to need copper eventually anyway. Very basic stuff. Now, how to tell if you're going to freeze to death or if you have improper protection from the cold. So you'll notice in the top right of my screen, there's the mini-map. Let me move the text a bit so you can see it a little better. And right below, like, I can't summon a mouse cursor, but it's like right here where my mouse is circling, right? There's a little temperature gauge. It says 0 degrees Celsius right now. Well, that needle is in the blue area. Now it's not. You'll notice the needle just moved to the white area because the weather is now sunny. But when the weather is not sunny, it was in the blue zone. And if that needle is not in the white zone, you will slowly die. Now, the way it works is you don't get cold and die immediately. You get cold, and once you get too cold, then you start losing health over time, and then you die. So as long as you can keep that needle in the white zone, you're good. That's all there is to it. Now, while V wants us to set up camp, which we've already done here, just go ahead and do it again. It's whatever. You just need to progress his quests so that we can get a car ASAP, or a motorcycle. But while you do that, anytime on the roads you see cars broken down like this, you need to loot the trunks. Or, I'm sorry, the trunk. Alright, so just loot the trunk. That's going to give you a little bit of fuel. And you can do this every 4-ish in-game server hours. Also, you'll see reindeer from time to time, and you want to kill these and skin them. You're going to need a lot of them to repair your gear later on, but early on, you're going to, you need to kill them to craft some basic cold protection. And skinning an animal is real simple. I'll show you once. You just pop them in the head, and then you run up to them, and then you push F like you're mining a node, and then your character will shank them once, and then there you go. You get some reindeer hide, and you get some deer meat, and we'll use the meat later. Also, anytime there's anything in front of you to pick up, make sure you loot it, alright? Like plants, random flowers on the ground. Pick literally everything up along the way that you're running around and doing this. Alright, and right now, this is where I'm at on the map. Here's Hale's moving house. I'm just right in this little area. This is where we're going to be hanging out for just a tiny little bit. Not too long or anything. But we just want to progress the quest as fast as possible. So now the game wants us to craft a torch. And yes, I'm going to hold your hand through this because this guide is intended for people that have not played this before. There we go. We have now crafted the torch. So when you have the torch out, it'll make you a little bit warmer. So you just switch to your melee weapon. Here you go. I pushed K. That's the quick way to get to it. And you'll notice that the needle, like when I put my torch away, it moves a little bit. There you go. See? And then when I pull the torch out, it moves back towards the center. So this helps slightly. Not too much. It's just a little bit. And so now the game wants us to gather spike tomatoes and sunny ginger or polar peppers. Well, spike tomatoes is what's going to be around us, and that is this big plant right here. Looks just like this. So just run around, hunt deer, and grab those plants off the ground. This is Sunny Ginger. So again, just pick up crap as you're hunting the reindeer. You don't have to overhunt the reindeer or anything. Just if you can kill them, go ahead and kill them, like that one there. I'm going to go ahead and skin that. You're going to need, again, you're going to need like a lot of these to sustain your repairs throughout the entire playthrough. And so getting them early on, it doesn't hurt. Just go ahead, if they're nearby, you know, don't go out of your way to skin them or anything. But if they happen to be nearby, just go ahead and skin them. Also, while you're here near this dirty lake, or lake rather, just get some water. If you didn't do this in the tutorial, don't get too much. So this is your carry weight. I pushed the letter I, and this opens my inventory. Every time I scoop water, I'm adding about 1 to 2% to my total carry weight. And you want at least a couple hundred dirty water. You don't need a lot, right? And you're going to be scooping 15 at a time, so don't over scoop here, but at least get a few hundred. This will last you quite a while. We're going to be boiling this into boiled water, so there we go. I got 210. That's more than enough. And again, we're just going to run around, pick up logs off the ground, just like you would in Rust. All right, and then mine copper whenever you see it. You're going to need a bunch of copper. Now, you'll notice that you may be running a little slower, and that's not because of your carry weight. That's because your character is thirsty. So if you look down here, you have your hydration meter and your energy meter. This is food, this is water. And you start the game with a bunch of boiled water, so you can just use these. You can also chug them from your hotbar if you want to. And as long as it's in the yellow or better, you won't be slowed down as much. Also, by eating food, and food does expire, so don't be afraid to eat it. I would save your canned lunch meat, though, and not eat that one. But as you eat food, your energy goes up and you can carry a little bit more weight. By the way, the game told you this, but these spiked tomatoes that we picked up, they increase your cold resist by 5, and we'll be using that later, but we're going to be using cooked versions that give us even more. You're also going to notice here in the top of your screen, you have a different set of quests called Journey. Don't worry about your Journey quests, only worry about the quest above Journey. The Journey quest is just something you can do in your free time. It's not pivotal to progressing the main story at all, so don't worry about what it says to do. You'll do it eventually anyway. Now, when the game wants you to craft gear for cold resist, go to your camp that you slap down, or slap down a new camp. These things are cheap as hell. And go to armor crafting, and you want to craft the jacket or the pants. We're going to replace these very soon, so it doesn't matter. So just pick whichever one. I'm just going to do the jacket. We're going to hold F to confirm. And there we go. And I have a skin, so it may look a little different than yours. And then we're just going to push K and then throw the jacket on. There we go. Awesome stuff. Nice and snug and warm. And that progresses the quest. And then you have to hold tab, summon V again. Again, we're just progressing the quest so we can get a motorcycle. So now V will mark an outpost on the map just north of where we landed. How convenient, right? So just go up there and then talk to the NPC. And always remember, loot these cars, especially early game. You want as much fuel as you can hold. Now, when you get here, you're going to be threatened by an NPC saying, "Are you friend or foe? Blah, blah, blah." I want you to realize something. You're basically Superman in this game. You can shrug off bullets. You have superhuman strength and telepathic powers. So, you shouldn't be scared of anything other than freezing to death. Now the game wants us to build a base. And so what we're going to do is that camp we put down, we're going to teleport back to it. That's going to save you a little bit of running time. And we're going to make a base around here, preferably near the trees, preferably. You're going to push B. Make sure you mouse wheel up so that your entire foundations are sticking out of the ground like so. But not too tall so that you can at least climb up them. And then we're just going to put it down. There we go. And we're going to continue the tutorial. And now it wants us to hold tab, go to cradle, and then learn whatever it wants us to learn, which is the furnace. So there we go. And again, you can just follow along the tutorial. It's fine. Alright, now it wants us to do some disassembly and yada yada yada. But just by doing those things, we're not going to worry about the base for now, but we are going to use the glass thing here in the middle, put the butterfly there, and sink it so we can summon the butterfly in combat. By the way, we just earned a motorcycle, so you can push G and summon a motorcycle now. We're going to do the base building stuff in a little bit, but right now we're going to go to Camp Igloo. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and drive there and continue the quest chain. Now, when you get to Camp Igloo, the first thing that you want to do is activate this little teleportation tower, which is this thing right here with the red laser shooting into the sky. It should be very easy to see. I don't know why it's foggy in my playthrough, but yeah, we're gonna grab that, and then we're just gonna go into this little base here and talk to Wendy and progress the story. But, you know, we're gonna do some base building here in a bit. We're all set up in the right spot so we can mine the right materials, but we're just gonna talk to Wendy and order a Dave's double, you know, with some extra ketchup and a side of nuggets. Okay. There's a restaurant, fast food joint in America called Wendy's. It's a joke. I don't know. I'm not very good at the joke thing. And man, she's got crazy eyes. She has the, she's seen some shit eyes, okay? She is a wild card, right? And now we have commissions. So we're gonna not leave town yet. We're gonna summon V, and we're gonna go to view commissions. And we're gonna pick easy ones. Alright, so the easy ones for me would be harvesting 10 things, getting 200 ammo, the buildings, smelting, not these gathering ores or logging. You may be thinking, oh, well, I can gather 100 logs in a second. No, it means you have to actually axe the tree 100 times. These take forever. You don't ever pick these two, alright? Re-roll them. Let's see what we get. Make 20 servings of food, maybe. Open 2 weapon crates, nah, I don't really like that. Alright, sometimes you can do thumbs up, but the way to do this one, like and view 5 comments left by other players. If you snap your fingers, especially in town, you might see them on the ground, but Way of Winter is a little bit newer to the game, so not as many people leaving comments on the ground. Sometimes maybe around the teleport tower, you can see these little blue things. That's what these are, alright? If you can find a spot on this map where there's a bunch of them, like we got another one there, and they're all around. If you keep snapping your fingers, they might show up and you might be able to see them, but not a lot of people leave whispers on this game mode, so they're a little bit harder to find. But that's how you would do that commission if you want to. Me personally, I'm not gonna do it because I just don't feel like it, so I'm just gonna re-roll that. Re-roll that again. 30 servings of water. We'll do that. Boom. You want to make sure you have 5 of these ready to go because they're gonna level you up pretty quick. But other than that, we need to accept the quests from the yellow markers. So, talking to Lo, he's going to give us a Digby boy. And so we're just going to skip his dialogue, as the usual in every game I play ever on this channel. And you'll notice that there's a floating thing here. You're going to push F on that and capture it. And this guy will mine automatically for you whenever we put him in the base. So this is why we went here first rather than started building our base, so that we can get the Digby boy. Also, we have another quest to get from Wendy here, and so we're just going to skip through that. I think I didn't click the right thing, so maybe I should slow down just a little bit. But, yeah, okay. So we got her stuff, and everything is checked on the left there, except for receive guerrilla combat tasks from Maisley, who's right there, so that's where we're going to go. No need for me to show you that. Also, if you can't find these characters or where to go, you'll see this little butterfly trail that spawns every once in a while from your character. And you just follow the trail. Like when I walk out here, sometimes the butterfly will point, hey, you know, it'll like float over here or something. That'll help you throughout the game kind of find stuff. Also, if you ever see these things, you can click on them, and some of them are just scenic viewpoints. You get Starcrom rewards for them, and that's a premium currency that we can use later to unlock gun and armor unlocks. Now it wants us to unlock primary supplies and gear workbench, so we're just going to medics. And the game will walk you through it, so there's primary supplies. You also want to learn leatherworking at some point, but not right now. You don't need to. I'm also going to get ammunition and basic gear and long-range firepower, because we're going to make a sniper rifle. And unlocking all these is going to unlock the raid gear set, which we're going to use a part of. Not everything, but also we got a few other like little green things here. There's the sniper unlocked and so on and so forth. Now, from here, we're going to teleport back to our base, and we're going to do a little bit of mining, a little bit of constructing, and a little bit of leveling up. But the main thing right now is we want to do our commissions, because we want to level up. So out of all of these, laying the foundations is easy, 30 servings of boiled water is easy, and this crop one. And again, these are random, so try to do as many of these as you can before you actually build anything. And the reason why is we want mimetic specializations to make things easier. Also, don't forget to chop some trees. Use your camp as a kind of a makeshift cook to boil your water. I want to make sure I'm boiling all of my dirty water into boiled water. It takes a lot of logs, but it only takes a few seconds to go chop them up. So just make sure you do that. And I think I've already done at least a few of my commissions now. I'm boiling the water. We'll craft the ammo and smelt the ingots in a little bit. Not too hard. And before anyone says, why am I making a video for new players? New players aren't going to be playing Way of Winter. Excuse me. Look at the chat right now. There is a guy that says, how do I place my base down? He's clearly never played this game before. And he's starting on Way of Winter, which is a nightmare. It's truly difficult to play on Way of Winter. And I'm going to do my best to set you up where you'll have a self-sustaining healing build, and you'll be able to take on everything the game has to offer pretty early on as quick as possible. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that your crude pickaxe here has durability. It's that little bar in the bottom right corner underneath our crossbow icon. And so you don't want to just chop trees indefinitely. You want to chop about, starting off 1,000 logs. I'm at 923 right now. So I'm going to stop at 1,000. And then I'm going to go ahead and mine a whole bunch of copper, because we need copper for copper ore, for copper ingots, and to upgrade our pickaxe, and to make all the crafting benches, and smelters, and furnaces. And so don't break your starting pickaxe on trees. Yeah, you can still mine this with a rock. It's totally possible to do. It is just way slower to do so. Also, I just want to point out that you can move your base constantly in this game, instantly. You don't have to deconstruct it and rebuild it like in every other game ever. You can literally just push B, push Z, and then you can move your base. So don't be afraid of putting your base down somewhere. I know some of you are like, but this is a stupid location. I don't like the view. I don't like the weather. You can move it. Right now, our base is more like a... Like, think of it like StarCraft, how, like in StarCraft 2, the Terrans can move their base around. So you can lift your base off and move it anywhere that's convenient for you to mine at, to harvest at, or even to temporarily shelter in at if you're farming that area. Don't be afraid of... just think of your base as a mobile little, like, support hub. Alright, once you've chopped a whole lot of trees and copper ore, it's time to start base building, finally, right? Push B, and then right-click, and then click Facilities here at the top, and then you're going to go to Furnace, and you're going to put down a bunch of these. I like to put down like 4 or 5, so I'm just going to pop down about 4. There we go. And we can move these anytime. It's real simple. You can just push F and relocate it. It's not a big deal. And don't worry about getting it perfect and lined up right now. Just put a bunch down. You can reorganize it later. Now you're going to open a furnace, and you're going to cook a bunch of charcoal. So I have 1,000 logs. I'm going to hit max, and that's 495 logs. So 1,000 logs would be 250 logs per furnace. So we will make about 50 on each furnace here. So again, I'm just going to click, you know, that one was 46, whatever. We just want to make sure that we have all of them cooking, you know, logs right now. There we go. And while that cooks, we're going to go get more logs. And again, it's only going to take them a minute or so. But if you are cooking all of your charcoal from one single furnace, it's going to take 4 times as long. And we ain't got time for that. So, again, while that's cooking, we're just going to go out here, chop some more logs, and once those charcoals are finished, we can then make copper ingots. And you can keep an eye on your crafting benches, and when they all light up with that green check mark, that means they're basically done. So there we go. Now we can go ahead, and you can either open the inventory and then grab the charcoal by left-clicking it, or you can just go up here and push G to claim all. Awesome stuff, and now we're level 8. Now, what we're going to do is the same thing with the copper ingots. So... if we max it out, it's 297, so that's about 200 or so, so I'll do about 40 each. So I'll do 40 there, and then 40 here. There we go. I mean, that's a little bit more than 40, it's fine. Hold on, yeah. Okay, we'll do 20 there. Grab the charcoal out of here, and we don't want to use all of the copper ore, because you can still make things from ore. But yeah, let's just make like 30. There we go. So now that that's cooking, again, while it's cooking, we go chop more trees, because you're going to need a lot of charcoal early on, but once we get power set up, you won't be using logs or charcoal anymore for basic power needs. We can smelt things without those later on, but you still will need charcoal and logs for other things, so it's always good to just have a bunch on hand. And yes, you're going to need more copper, so go ahead and while your stuff's cooking, get more copper. It should be around your base. Seek it out. If not, chop trees, get copper while this stuff's cooking. And like I said, you're going to need a lot of it. You might as well do it now. But we're going to upgrade our gathering tools so that we gather more and faster, and our armor so that we have a gathering set so that we can basically do this about 35% faster. But for now, this is what we're stuck with. Also, if I know what you're thinking, you're like, I don't want to waste materials building so many furnaces. In this game, when you deconstruct a building, you get a full refund on the materials. So don't worry about it. You're not wasting materials with extra furnaces. And just remember to keep your furnaces going, you know, craft some more charcoal, because you can't have too much early on. You know, just keep your furnaces going. I'm going to put some copper in this one here. And again, we're going to need more and more copper as we go. So they're all lit up. It's time for the next step. It wants us to build a primary supplies workbench in the territory. So we're going to push B, right click, go to facilities here at the top, and then production processing. We have the primary supplies workbench. Just go ahead and slap that down. And then we have the gear workbench, which needs metal scraps and adhesive, which we can't technically get yet. So we're going to have to build this disassembly bench instead. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Awesome stuff. And if you've been doing your commissions, you might actually have some levels. I still need to craft ammo and then collect this, and that should push me to 10. But what I can do, I'm going to go ahead and show you it now, is hold tab, go to cradle, click mimetics, and then here at the top left, click this yellow circle. And every 5 levels, you get a specialization. It's randomly rolled. You don't know what you get until you click on it. And there's a whole... This is where things can get a little complicated, a little bit. But if luck is on your side, you'll get some good ones. If not, you'll have to not choose one so that you don't get them rolled again in the next level bracket. So I'm going to click this, and I'll explain what all that means. So this is exactly what I wanted. This is super lucky, okay? But this one is also really good. All right, but it's not as good. This is the best thing you can get early on, and it's going to last you the whole game. You're going to always be using this. Disassembly bench. Careful disassembly. You get a 30% yield when disassembling parts, fabrics, and plastics. So yes, we got very lucky with this one. And we can get this one up to level 15 or so. This one's also good. 64 item storage crates are amazing, all right? But you can only pick one, and you definitely want to pick this over the other one. Now, I have an entire video that shows you what you should and shouldn't pick. But please go to this video right here. It's called The Best and Worst Mimetics Specialization Guide on What to Pick and Avoid Getting. And this video will cover everything you need to know. There should be a link to it right down here under the guides section in every description of my videos. And you'll see best and worst mimetics. So in this video you're watching right now, open the description, click this link. You can middle click it with your mouse, and that'll open a new tab. And go ahead and watch it. And it's laid out very quickly. You can scroll through it like so. And you'll see like levels 5 through 15. Deluxe. You'll see custom gear workbench, deluxe storage crate, disassembly bench, careful disassembly. That's what we just got. All right, so these are things that you absolutely must pick. And, you know, as it scrolls, hold on, as it scrolls, we have really nice things to get, and alts can have this if you use alt accounts. Then we have, like, completely useless and, like, low-tier stuff that you should never get. And I have this for every level bracket, okay? So it's very easy to follow. And let me further explain mimetics just a little bit. Every... like disassembly bench, this can appear at level 5, 10, and 15, but it will no longer appear at level 20. So let's say when we open our mimetics, we got all garbage things to choose from. You don't want to pick those, because if you pick them, they go back into the pool, and when you draw your level 10 mimetics, you can get those same 3 crappy ones. Alright, so what you do is if you get all 4 crappy mimetics, never choose any of them, and then when you open your level 10 draw, you have 4 less crappy ones to draw from, alright? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, because we got the disassembly bench, what we have to do is when I open this, you'll notice there's nothing here in the top right corner. We don't want to disassemble yet. We want to actually smash that by pushing R in the build mode and put it back down. Because now when we put it down, you'll notice it has a buff in the top right. We get a 30% yield, and that is so good. It's one of the best things you can get early, really. Really lucky. It's YouTuber luck, I suppose. So yeah, anytime you get a good mimetic for a crafting bench, you have to break it and then rebuild it so that you get the buff applied to the bench. And if you have friends, or if you're in a guild or a clan or a warband or whatever it is, or a hive, you can build these for your friends and they will get the benefit of it, alright? So what we need to do now is we need to disassemble a bunch of stuff and get some loot And lucky for us, our base is right near what's called Desolate Dock. And so we're just going to run over here, and we're going to kill mobs and loot everything. Also, it is nighttime, and you'll notice that my needle is in the blue. You'll notice at the bottom of my screen in the middle next to my health bar is a fat blue character model. That means I'm freezing to death. You can see here, let's see, disease, we have hypothermia. Yes, we are suffering from hypothermia, which means we will die soon. So you can either save yourself the trouble and then just open your menu and then do self-destruct. That'll reset your timer, and any items that are dropped, since we're near our base, we can just respawn. But as long as you have some wood and some stone, you can always replace this this little camp here. So I'm just gonna go death run it, right? I'm gonna run up here. I'm gonna put a camp down next to this housing little area, and I'm gonna grab everything along the way, of course. And yes, see, I'm freezing to death right now. My life is literally ticking away, but I have this little camp, and we're just gonna slap it. Well, it's gonna let us put it right there. There we go. And now when I freeze to death, I can respawn at the camp. Obviously, because I'm near the camp, because I'm near the camp, it keeps me slightly warmer. But you'll see here that I'm about to die. And we're gonna melee these guys. We're not really gonna shoot them. It's just better to melee them. So I'm about to die here. That's fine. We died. And I accidentally mashed F, so I don't know where it's going to put me. Okay, it put me back at the camp. Good. So there we go. We died, and now we're back. And it's going to take a while for us to freeze to death. And we're just going to, again, melee all the dudes, pick up all their loot. And yeah, we aggroed like all of them for some reason. I don't know why we're aggroing them. But yeah, it's faster right now just to melee the mobs than it is to shoot them with the crossbow. Of course, the flying ones you're going to need the crossbow for. So, you know, that's why we have it out. And we'll be replacing this crossbow very, very shortly after this loot run, actually. And to help not freeze to death, we can eat a spiked tomato. And for 5 minutes, we're going to get just enough cold resist to not freeze to death. We're right on the line here. And so, let's kill these little flying bugs, too. They're kind of annoying. Also, you can go for headshots and get an early achievement. Or, you know, season points, I guess. Also, it's a lunar thing going on this server, so that's why they have this red glow, and that's why they're all hyper-aggressive. So that makes the server even harder, but the loot is honestly worth playing on a lunar server. I didn't realize this was a lunar server. Also, yes, it does ruin your sanity. That's why I have that blue meter on my health bar ticking away. That's part of the lunar event. It does make it more difficult, but we have, again, a respawn right next door. So when you're inside, and when you're doing loot runs, push Q. It's going to highlight everything that you can loot from. And you want to just mass loot everything here. All we're doing is getting just random scrap. You'll see metal scraps, XP. You'll see just like plungers, like a football. We just looted a football. It's like, well, what do you do with a football? You disassemble it into scrap. That's all it's good for. And so we looted the house. We're going to loot all these little crates. We're going to go into this little dock area. And look at that. We got coat hangers and vanity boxes, connecting firmware, wrenches. These are all just random scrap items that we're going to turn into materials to craft weapons, armor, and more base construction things. And yes, we are dying, and that's okay right now. It's totally fine. When you drop items, you can pick them back up from where you died. We have that respawn point literally 3 feet away. This is the Way of Winter early game. Remember, this game mode and the lunar event is meant for players who have been playing for a while, who have blueprints, who have things carried over from their other servers. But you can see this little icon, this little flower icon where we died. You just pick up your loot and you continue as if nothing happened. Now for the sanity thing on a lunar event, that is fixable, but you have to wait until after nighttime. You can drink tea, and later in week 2, you can drink booze or beers, malt alcohols to not lose sanity. And don't worry about healing yourself right now. Let's just blow ourselves up. Okay, that didn't actually explode like it was supposed to. But, yeah. Just continue the loot run. It's a little tough right now, but it's fine. You'll get through it. You're going to die a few times, especially on a lunar server. Make sure to loot trash cans. They're always so full of loot. And, yeah. It's a bit of a slog early on, but just keep at it, and I'll catch you guys in a bit once I've got more scrap. Alright, so I've looted that whole little section there, and every 4 hours, loot comes back. You can loot it again. And you may be thinking, well, I don't know what time zone you're in, Soul Benji, so let me show you how to tell when loot comes back, alright? So open your web browser. Let me move my text here. We're just going to type into Google, once human loot, or just once human timer. That's it, once human timer. you'll see this maxlu2.com website. I'm not associated with this. I don't know the owner. I didn't make this, and it actually just reset. So in 3 hours, 56 minutes, and 12 seconds, all right, this is today's date, 3/9/2025. That's March 9th. That's when I'm recording this. Basically at 8 p.m. my time, which is Central Standard, it's going to respawn. So, in order for it to respawn, if you're still in the same play session, you would simply log out, you push escape, hit exit game, and then that will allow you to log out. And then when you log back in, the loot will be back again. So, that means, like, because I know 10 minutes ago, I wasn't looting cars, right? So I can't loot this car, so I'll demonstrate that right now. I'm just going to go to exit game and go to relog in. And now when I relog in, I should be able to loot that car. And no, I didn't time this. This is not scripted. This is just very convenient filming. So, yes, I know what Way of Winter is. You don't have to tell me. And now, okay, maybe I did loot that car 10 minutes ago. Or maybe I wasn't logged out long enough. But yeah, I should technically be able to reloot those cars, but it's not working for some reason. So, I guess I didn't stay logged out long enough. I don't know. Or maybe you have to, like, fully close. I'm pretty sure you just log out and back in, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It is what it is. I'm not gonna pretend to know why it didn't work, okay? But anyway, we got the scrap. Okay, let's get the text back up in the center, and we're gonna go to the disassembling machine, and then you may be thinking, well, what is a jacket used for? What is a scrap coarse body used for? Every single thing in this little category that looks like a screw is useless. You cannot do anything with this stuff ever. It's complete, absolute garbage items. And all you do is click select all and then hold F to disassemble it into actual things like metal scraps, rubber, adhesive, rusted parts, ingots, and waste plastic. So there we go. Now that we have done that, and we have smelted a bunch of copper ingots, we can now proceed to the next step and craft the primary gear workbench. So push B, right click, and then go to the primary gear workbench, which needed metal scrap and adhesive, which we now have plenty of. We can go ahead and slap that bad boy down. There we go. So now we can craft weapons and armor and supplies. Now it wants us to craft a tier 1 armor at the primary gear workbench and a weapon, which I have already prepared you for. So what we're going to do is we're going to craft certain specific types of armor. You'll notice that the raid helmet here wants glass. Well, lucky for us, we have furnaces and we have charcoal, so making glass is real easy. I'm just going to make 10 glass at each of these. So there we go. Some glass there. And so on and so forth. Again, we don't want to really... We don't have to use all the stone, but I thought we would have more gravel than what we currently have, but it's fine. Anyway, we got some glass crafting because we definitely want to craft certain items. So here is what you want to craft for your weapons and armor. Well, we're gonna do armor first. It's very important to do armor first, okay? So we're going to be crafting a raid mask. All right, so what I'm going to do is, let me move the text down here. We're going to go to the mask icon, and we have the raid mask, and what you want to do is you want to make sure it's set to tier 1. Now, we don't have an electronic part, so we can't craft the mask yet. So we're going to skip that for now, but we're going to go ahead and go to pants, and we're going to craft the raid pants, which we do have the parts for, and it's defaulting to the deer hide, which is... we want to make sure that it's the reindeer. I'm pretty sure it's reindeer hide. And, yeah. Or is it? No, we want reindeer hide, okay? So it's defaulting to deer hide, which is just cold and frost resist +5. But we want the reindeer hide, which is cold resist +5 and maximum load +10. All right, super important that we do that. So we're going to hold F to confirm the raid pants. There we go. Awesome stuff. And now we're going to craft rustic on everything else. So not the mask, because we still need the electronic parts. But we're going to craft a rustic hat. All right, and again, make sure that, well, for this one, like, the hat doesn't matter. It can use the normal deer hide. That's fine. We'll craft the hat. There we go. And then we have the top. Now, the top is important. We have a rustic top, but it's tier 0. We want tier 1. So... also, make sure on your rustic set that it's all set to the same skin, because if it's not, you won't get the set bonus. To make sure it's the same skin, click the fabric, and for me, it's defaulting to the Snowland skin set, which you might have, you might not. The skins don't matter, it's just the decoration. Like, here's what the regular looks like, and then here's what the Snowland looks like. It's no stat bonuses. But for your rustic jacket, make sure that you have the reindeer hide selected. So scroll through your hides and get reindeer hide for that max load plus 10. All right, it's only the pants and the top, or the armor piece, that have these bonuses, okay? All right, so we did the pants already, did we? Yeah, we did the pants already, so now we do gloves. We're doing the rustic gloves, and again, the hide doesn't matter. All right, there we go. And the boots. So we're doing rustic boots. And the reason why we're doing 4-piece rustic, 2-piece raid is for these set bonuses, which I'll show you. All right, we can now move the text back up here. And I'm going to hide the text for a sec so you can see the screen better. Now, we're in the gear menu. We're going to open our hat. We have a tier 1 rustic hat. Boo. Let's go ahead and put on the tier 1 rustic snow hat. There we go. We don't have the mask yet, so don't worry about the mask. We have the gloves, the tier 1 gloves. There we go. The boots. Put on the boots. And it looks like the tutorial gives us tier 1. The tutorial used to give tier 0, and the tutorial gave tier 1. It's fine. We're not really wasting the materials here. Snowland rustic armor. Did I craft 2 of these? I guess I did. Whatever. All right. Anyway. And then the pants are the raid pants. There we go. So you'll notice the raid pants. We have a gathering speed of plus 15 right now. When we get the mask, we'll have a maximum load carry weight of plus 20. On the rustic set, we have movement speed, cold resist, which is nice, HP 600, and gathering speed plus 20. So right now, we can gather at 35% increased speed. Very good. All right, now craft a sniper rifle. And the reason we're crafting a sniper rifle is for the one-shot potential. So we're going to go to craft weapon. There we go. Go and exit that. I'll show you here at the top. We just go to the rifle section, and we should have the ingredients there. Tier 1 is fine. Hold F to craft. Now we have ourselves a sniper rifle. There it is. Beautiful stuff. On that bench next to it, the primary supplies workbench, or wherever you put it down in your playthrough, we want to craft some sniper rifle ammo, which you'll see here. It's called Copper SR ammo. Now, we need gunpowder for that. And you don't want to make gunpowder. We technically could make gunpowder by getting sulfur, but that wastes acid. And we don't want to waste acid making gunpowder. But hey, there is a place nearby to get lots of gunpowder, and it's just south of our base here at the Woodland Ranch. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through Woodland Ranch and kill everyone with our torch. That's right, our melee weapon. It's a little busted, though. And so we're just going to repair our torch real quick by pushing H, clicking our torch, and then spinning 3 wood to repair it. There we go. Fully repaired the torch. We have tier 1 armor. It's going to be really hard for them to kill us. And again, we're just going to go right down here to the Woodland Ranch, kill everybody, and loot everything there is to pick up. Now, the quest chain wants us to go down here to Mouseville. We're not going to do that yet. We're not going to worry about that. We'll do that later. Now, on the way to Woodland Ranch, if you see this guy here, you can kind of shoot him in the legs sometimes, and he'll stop, or he'll stop on his own. But yeah, when he stops, climb into his butt area. You know, he is a walking bus after all. Not quite the magic school bus, but he's got a chest you can loot once a day. And again, I know I'm just wasting arrows because he kind of stops at intervals, but sometimes you can get him to stop if you shoot him enough. It doesn't look like he wants to stop. You can follow him on your motorcycle until he stops. He'll let out a big growl and then bend over and summon enemies, but you just jump in the back, loot the chest inside, and then jump out. And there's usually some good stuff in here. It's like fuel and some other things. We got fuel, crystals, gunpowder, which is what we need. And the enemies he summons, just run from them. They won't chase you too far. They're pretty easy to kill, but you don't really need to kill them. And by the way, you don't have to walk to anywhere anymore. Remember, you have a motorcycle that you can summon and drive anywhere you need to. So get used to mounting up. And yeah, so here we are at the Woodland Ranch. And again, we want to farm the mobs. And it's faster to just melee them. If you get behind them, you can sometimes mash F to execute them. Or you do a backstab attack, which is like a sneaky neck break move. But generally, you just run at them. You just do like a heavy melee into some light melees, and they won't be able to do anything. Now, there are 2 mobs in here that explode, and they will one-shot you. So what I recommend that you actually do... and there's not one right there, but put down a camp nearby. Push T and put down a camp. I need some gravel though, so I'm gonna go mine some gravel and put a camp down, because they will blow you up and kill you, and you don't want to have to ride all the way back. All right, so we have the camp down. And, or I thought I had it down. It says I can't. It's just a laggy server. Okay, it's the first day of this server. There's a lot of stuff going on. But with that camp down, we're going to run in here. And all you're doing is killing all the dudes, pushing Q, and picking up all the junk off the ground. Now, we're in full tier 1 armor, so their bullets don't really hurt us that much. Now, if you see a guy like this with the red stuff, don't let him run into you. And don't get near him when you kill him. Don't melee these guys. They blow up. And when they blow up, they will kill you in one shot. So that's why we have that respawn point, just to be safe. Yeah, just run around, snap those fingers, loot every single thing. You're going to need all the scrap. And this is how we're going to get those early electronic parts. And you're going to have plenty of gunpowder for ammo. You can see we're already at 8 gunpowder. I know we got some from that bus that patrolled by. But, yeah, these guys, they drop gunpowder. So, like, this one dropped a gunpowder. So, just kill everybody and loot everything. Alright, so after the loot run, go ahead and teleport back to your base. And we're going to disassemble all the scrap. And we're going to have to do this a few more times so that we have enough tier 1 scrap. But we should have some electronic... Okay, no electronic parts yet. That's fine. Don't worry about it too much. We'll get some. It's just a matter of luck. Now, at this point, you probably are pretty wounded, so you could technically die, which will break your gear a little bit and call us to repairs, or you could just craft a bed. And to craft a bed, open your cradle, go to memetics. I'm going to hide the text here. And at the top of your screen, click the buildings here, and we want to learn Basic Furniture 1, so that's going to cost 5 total, because it's going to learn wooden support, wooden doors, and basic furniture. So that lets us craft a bed, and just go ahead and go to Furniture, and then go to lifestyle items, and then go to bed. If you have a skin for a bed, you can use rawhide, but who cares? And then you can craft a bed with some adhesive and logs. There we go. And then go ahead and just lay in the bed, and that will heal not only your sanity, but also your HP slowly over time. So you can just go get a drink, get a sandwich, whatever it is you want to do. Alright, with the gunpowder acquired, we can go ahead and let's first repair that torch. Keep it tip-top shape, because we're going to need that for some more farming. And now we will craft ammo. Copper SR ammo. We got plenty of gunpowder. Don't be afraid to spin those copper ingots. I'm going to make about 400 or so. Yeah, that'll be plenty. And I'm going to keep a little bit of gunpowder on hand. I don't really plan to use it for anything other than ammo, but in case I want to switch guns later, which we kind of do, we're going to keep just a little bit to spare. And we'll get more gunpowder as we play the game. Now, it's also important to upgrade our pickaxe, so what we're going to do is open our memetic screen here, and we're going to learn copper pickaxes. There we go. We're going to also learn bronze crafting, and then bronze pickaxes. And since we already have the copper ingots, we are then... Well, let's pick up the ammo real quick. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and craft the copper pickaxe, because right now we're using a crude pickaxe. We want the upgraded version, just use regular deer hide, that's totally fine. And we are also level 10. Let's see what kind of memetic we get. Level 10, let's see. We have large furnace, don't care. Storage crates, oh, I'm picking that one. Yes, absolutely. Love me some storage crates. That's super lucky, dude. Super freaking lucky. But now that we have our copper pickaxe, we're going to push I. Go to the tools menu right here in this little icon. And then we're going to drag the copper pickaxe on our toolbar, undrag the crude pickaxe from the toolbar. I'm also going to organize my hotbar a bit, put my heal items on 4, put my Molotovs on 9, and move everything else off the bar. Maybe keep water on 5. I think that looks good. I think that's pretty good. And with this setup now, we're going to disassemble some of our old stuff. I'm going to equip, from this rustic crossbow, I'm going to equip the sniper rifle. There we go. And now when we have the sniper, we have 445 bullets. We can now disassemble our old stuff. So we're going to click this wrench, the wrench icon. I'm going to disassemble these 46 arrows. That's going to give me some stone and wood. I'm also going to disassemble this crude pickaxe. And now we have a copper pickaxe. And with the copper pickaxe, you can now start mining tin. And tin is located just north, right where our base is, right around here. And also tin is located in this area here as well. But, yeah, so like right here, I think maybe a little bit right up here too is some tin. But there's a good amount of tin here. And we're going to just harvest a bunch of copper and tin and wood for a bit. So you want to get a lot of tin. Also, the first time you ever harvest tin, you'll get a Digby Boy. Remember, we got one of those earlier in town from our quest. And so what we can do with these Digby Boys is we can build more of these things. So we're going to push B, right-click, go to Facilities, and then go to Function Facility. And then we can build ourselves an isolated securement unit. These things take copper, metal scraps, which we now have plenty of, and glass. And I know that I have at least 2 Digby Boys. So we're going to put 2 of those down. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to Use Facility and then right-click a Digby Boy in there. There we go. And a Digby Boy in there. And as I get more Digby Boys, let's fix the misalignment here. Nope, still misaligned. Okay, there we go. Now, nope. Whatever. If I don't fix it, someone in the comments will tear me up. It is going to poke out forever. So why is that poking out? Is that lined? Yeah, that's lined up. Okay, there we go. So as we get more Digby Boys, we'll make more securement units. We can have up to 5 right now. We can later upgrade to 10. And then in the second week, we can upgrade to 20. So yeah, right now these things, what these guys do is they're gonna, once they get a little bit of a rest, they're gonna pop out of their cage and they're gonna run around and mine stuff. And then we can just occasionally open their cage and get free mining materials. But with this copper pickaxe, we want to mine a bunch of tin. And we're going to turn the tin into bronze, combining with the copper. So you still need copper ore, of course. Just keep running around hunting things. It's way easier to hunt now with your sniper rifle, by the way. You know, chopping trees, gathering. Also, with our item sets, our gear, we now harvest way faster than before. So, again, everything is now speeding up. Everything is coming up nicely. With our copper pickaxe, we get a little bit more resources when we chop trees, when we mine things. So, just mine a bunch of tin. And the way the Digby Boy works is he just digs randomly in the ground. He doesn't actually steal the mining nodes. It'd be cool if they did, but they just mine randomly. Sometimes they'll mine on top of cars and stuff. It's kind of awkward, kind of weird, but yeah, we just need more tin ore. Once you've done some mining, then you can come over and smelt the bronze ingots. It will take copper and tin and charcoal to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that cooking. And again, you have plenty of furnaces, so, you know, don't be afraid to cook multiple stacks of charcoal, and also continue to make some copper ingots as well, assuming you have the charcoal to do so. Once you have the bronze ingots, you can then craft the bronze pickaxe. Oh boy. And from there, you can open your memetics, and then learn steel pickaxes, and you can learn electro refining, but you're not going to be able to craft this for a little while. Now, steel looks like this. It's got the kind of brown on the rocks. It's called iron ore. And yes, iron becomes steel. And you can now mine this with your bronze pickaxe. There's not a lot in this area, and we are going to be moving bases to an area a little bit later that is closer to a lot more iron. But if you happen to see it while you're roaming around, make sure to grab some. Just a random tip, if you hear a kind of like a doop noise, if you see black particles floating up in the sky, that means you're in a pollution zone. You'll notice the number on the back of your backpack is rising or lowering, and that is just the pollution level. Pollution, all it does is make your character lose sanity, which is that ever-encroaching blue bar that takes over our health bar. And to heal it, you can drink fruit tea, you can eat the sanity gummies that you got in the tutorial, or you can just lay in your bed for a bit, and that will restore your sanity. So now with the iron ore, go ahead and smelt that into steel ingots. All it takes is iron and charcoal, and we're just going to go ahead and cook that. Once it's done cooking, we can, again, craft the steel pickaxe, but to do that, we're going to need to upgrade our crafting benches. So we open the cradle, go to memetics, and we click, hold on, let me move the text. We're going to click this little icon at the top here. This is the crafting, and we're going to then learn the intermediate gear workbench and the intermediate supplies workbench. And there we go. Also, don't forget that when you finish your commissions, you can claim this that lets you get extra XP for finishing those commissions. That's going to give you some level ups and give you more memetic points that you'll need. So while we can't upgrade to steel right now, because if we want to craft the supplies workbench, we need standard parts and electronic parts, which we're going to go get here in a little while. But we do have the bronze, we have the metal, and the rubber. That's totally fine. So we don't have to worry about that. Now, one other thing that we need to do before we move on is make some storage crates And so we're going to open the cradle here and then go to the top, which is the, hold on, the text is always in the way, the building tab, and we're going to learn basic storage. Now, my character got the mimetic for the 64 storage crates, so that's the one that I'm going to build, but I'm going to push B, right-click, and then go to Storage Facility under Facilities. So I'm under Facilities and then Storage Facility. And what you will have is large storage crate. This is copper ingots, rubber, and rusted parts, which you will have plenty of. Now, because I have the mimetic, I can build a crate that has double this storage for for standard parts. So even I can't build this one. It used to be the same parts, but I guess not anymore. Anyway, we're going to build a large storage crate near our furnaces, and then another one near our disassembly bench, because we want to free up as much weight as possible. And so, what we're going to do is near the disassembly bench, and let's make sure that there's nothing left to disassemble. There we go. We're going to go into the chest here, go into this third little screw icon, and put in everything that disassembles into stuff. So that would be like scraps, and I'm going to put all my hides in here too. Adhesive, rubber, gunpowder, because that drops off mobs, why not? The rusted parts and the waste plastic, and of course the shabby fabric. And then, in this other crate with near the furnaces, I'm going to put all the metals and copper ingots, bronze ingots, ores, logs, and gravel, and steel ingots and glass, and charcoal. So now my weight is at 36% load, which is really nice. And now we are free to go about to the next area. And that would be down over here at the Mouseville Sweet Factory. Now, before we set off, we do want to grab just a little bit of wood, all right? Because we want to make a respawn base in case we need it. So make sure to grab some wood, and then just mine something that gives you gravel, in which case we have these copper nodes. You know, they give some gravel, they give 4 each. And you'll notice that we're getting 8 now per hit instead of 4 or 6, because we have the upgraded pickaxe. And again, I'm just getting some gravel so I can put down a base. And then what we're going to do, again, we're going to go south. We're going to teleport to our camp that we have already. That way we don't have to drive as far. And then we're going to go down here to the Mouseville, I don't know how to pronounce this thing. I know text is in the way, but here it is. We're going to go right down here, and I'm just going to right-click it. It's going to draw me a path. I'm going to follow the road, and we will reveal this, like, kind of darkened out area, and there will be a teleport tower nearby that we're going to grab first. By the way, as you're driving, if you happen to see these polar bears, always kill them. We need bear hides for better improvements to our cold resist later on. I'm going to make a whole separate segment when it's pertinent to the guide. But just for now, if you see a polar bear, you stop and you shoot that thing, because we're going to need lots of polar bear hides. Alright, so it's important to grab teleport towers on the way to quest objectives and when exploring new areas. So again, this is... right here is Mouseville Sweet Factory. This is the teleport tower, the Woodland Ranch teleportation tower. And what I want you to do is move your base somewhere over here. There's a lot more iron in this area than in other areas at the start. And like you can see, there's some iron there we need to get. And again, you're going to need a lot of iron. Iron is going to replace your bullets. It's going to replace everything that you build. And someone's already put a base over here because they know what the hell they're doing. Again, fresh server, but you want your base preferably somewhere in this forest to the northeast or southwest a bit. I'm going to put mine in the southeast. It doesn't matter. And right now I'm in someone's territory, but yeah, we can put ours over here, it says. And you don't want it too close to the road because you want to be able to expand outward. But again, it's not going to let me build as freely as I want since someone's already over here. But preferably somewhere nearby the teleportation tower. Yeah, you can see that there's his border. So I'm going to have to build mine there, I guess. Which is kind of intrusive on the road. It's fine. And it's just telling me, hey, there's a 10-minute cooldown on moving your base. But we're going to move our base over here for now, and that's fine. And so we're pretty close to the teleport tower, and we're close to Mouseville Sweet Factory. And what we're going to do is, it's pretty cold in here. You'll see it's -5. I'm going to die from cold exhaustion, even if I have food buffs. We need better food buffs. So let's learn to cook better dishes and get a few more item buffs. For now, since our base is located here, we're going to teleport to Camp Igloo. And we're going to get some salt water because we're going to need some salt in order to cook our dishes. And Camp Igloo is great because it's near the ocean. And so we're just going to ride northwest from Camp Igloo to the water and grab some salt water, and then we're going to cook the salt water into salt. So yeah, very simple process. I'll see you in a bit. So yeah, all you do once you're near the water, you just go to the water just like before and then collect water. And yes, we will probably freeze to death, but we're near Camp Igloo so we can respawn in the town. And you don't need a lot of salt. You can just get a few hundred if you want, or you could AFK and get 10,000. Put it in your storage crate, because cooking salt is something we have to do later when we have electric stoves to level up quickly, efficiently, and mostly AFK. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to grab a couple hundred seawaters there. That's all we need. Also, while you're in town in Camp Igloo, you can check inside if there's a Digby Boy that respawns. Sometimes there is. About every 15 minutes or so, you can also swap worlds and search for it. And to swap worlds, you just go to the teleportation tower. But what I'm going to do is just show you a quick run of that. So we go up the stairs, and we run inside. And sometimes other players grab it, sometimes it's just not there. And we just run over here, and there it is. There's a Digby Boy. All right, so we can go ahead and grab this and add it to our base so that it mines for us. And sometimes it's here near this guy, Low. And sometimes it's over here near Anne, or even over here near the Nisa, the mushroom, or what is this thing called? Man, I'm brain dead. What is this freaking thing called? It's a not a stingray. Damn it. Oh, it's bugging me. All right, I had to Google it. I had to Google floating, stinging ocean thing, and it's a jellyfish. Okay, the jellyfish head, yeah. Anyway, if there isn't one, you jump to this tower and you switch from world 1, 2, or 3, and then you run back up here and see if there's another one to grab. But if you grabbed one in one world, it won't respawn in the other. So we have our salt water. We can go back to the base now, and we're going to make a stove and then cook some of those spike tomatoes. Very simple stuff. We have the materials for it. And so we're going to hold tab, go to Cradle, go to Memetics. Now, right here in Infrastructure, we're on the first tab, we're going to learn Polar Expedition 1. That's going to cost 2. All right, and then we're going to go to the third tab. I'm pretty sure it's the third tab, and we're going to learn Stoves. There we go. And then we're going to learn Dishes 1. And there we go. Let's see, Dishes 2. I don't think it's Dishes 2. It might be Dishes 2, but let's go ahead and just build a stove for now. We're going to go to Production Facility and then Primary Stove. Slap that bad boy down, and yeah, it's we're gonna need cooking level 2. But for now, just boil a bunch of salt. So I'm gonna take wood and the seawater, and there we go. Looks like I need more logs. All right, and then cook as much salt as you can on these stoves. Just have them cooking. Now, while that's cooking, we're gonna make a stone item that's gonna give us more cold resist. So we go to the primary supplies workbench. We're going to craft one thermoium. I don't know how to pronounce words. It's not a real word anyway. Once you have your one thermoium, exit the menu, re-enter the menu, and then craft a heatium that's going to cost 20 charcoal and one thermoium. All right. And then this thing will last 1 full real-life hour. All right. And it's going to increase your cold resist by 10. And so with that and just a basic spike mato or mint or sunny ginger, you should be able to weather the next zone, even at night, which it's morning right now and it's not really sunny. But yeah, the helium, it's not a consumable. It just sits in your inventory and keeps you warm. Also, random side note, you've probably seen, maybe depending on how much you've explored, one of these like ice cube things. All you gotta do is throw a Molotov at them and it'll melt them. So there you go, just throw a Molotov, that's gonna melt the ice. Don't step in the fire, of course. I'm gonna grab these blueberries while we wait for the flames. And you'll have like a little weird digital cube thingy. You just loot that, and that's like gun accessories and random things. You get the polar jelly. Now this one always gives you a polar jelly, and the coordinates is right here on the screen. It's 4061 or I'm sorry, 4061 5072. All right. So there you go. It's just northwest of Mooseville, whatever. But we're not going to use the polar jelly. You could if you want to, but we're not going to use it. We're just going to use the butterfly. It's better for our current setup and build anyway. But yeah, there you go. That's how to melt ice cubes. Oh, and getting that polar jelly, I forgot to mention, when you get new deviants, it gives you more of these mimetic points. So now we can actually, well, it normally does. I guess it doesn't in this mode. But we want to learn dishes too so that we can cook better cold resist food. Alright, so another way to get more cold resist, since we can't afford the mimetic right now, since we bought steel pickaxe, we're gonna go kill some polar bears. And so here's the locations, and the easy way to find these is directly north of this teleportation tower. Across the road will be one of them. And so if you don't know how coordinates work, in the bottom right corner is a stack of 2 numbers, and when you mouse over anywhere on the map, you'll notice those numbers change. So that's how to find the coordinates. So 4019, which is about right there, and then 5408, just about, again, it's about right there. There should be a polar bear. And so we're just going to drive straight to that. And again, we killed it earlier on the way here. I pointed it out. But this is another way to get an extra 5 cold resist on our top and our legs. It's just extra cold resist. Normally it's not so cold, but I don't know what's going on this server. I guess because it's a harder Lunar of it server, the cold is extra freaking cold. But yeah, right here is one of the polar bear spawns. As you can see, there it is. And we only need, like, I think 6 hides, so not too many. But you want more for armor upgrades later. And then the other one is at 4370, 5282, which is east. So that would be 4370 and then 5282. So that would be about right there. All right, so yeah, it's east of the teleportation tower. And then we just drive there, kill that polar bear, and we can craft some upgrades. And if he's not there, that means another player in this world killed him, and they respawn every 10 to 15 minutes, so just run to the teleportation tower, switch worlds, and then run back to these 2 spots, and you should have enough hides for some armor upgrades. Otherwise, you don't have to even have cold resist. You could just build a tent outside, and then whenever you die, you just respawn and continue on your farm, which is what I'm going to do. So here's how, again, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run straight to the area that we want to loot, which is right here, the Mouseville Sweet Factory, and right outside of it, I'm just going to build a tent. And then when I die, I'll come back. It's real simple stuff. So let's go ahead and slap one down as soon as the game lets me know. There we go. And boom, now I have a respawn point. It's okay if I die. And again, we're just going to run around, and we're just going to loot everything. Now, in this area specifically, there are areas that have, like, giant ice cubes. You don't have to use a Molotov to melt the ice cubes. In this particular zone, just thwack it with your torch, and that will melt the giant cubes. Alright, so here is the big ice cube. Again, just attack it with the torch. That'll melt them down. You don't even have to melt them all the way, just enough to jump over them if you want. But that gets you through a bunch of different zones, and there's a lot of little hidden corridors with loot in them. It's nothing too important. You don't have to, like, 100% the whole area and get everything. But every time you open a gear or a weapon crate, you do get crystals. You get, you know, modifications, upgrades. And I said you get crystals, but apparently we're in such a low-tier zone that you don't get crystals. So it is what it is, whatever. But higher-tier zones, they'll give crystals. Trust me on this. Also, if you get the bug where you get locked in the freezer, just teleport to your camp. Also, if you ever see this icon, the Cargo Conquest, as a new player, you don't stand a chance against anyone on these servers because they're coming in with gear. They're coming in with full sets and mimetics and mods and legendary mods, and you won't be able to do anything against these guys. So don't even waste your time. So with the torch, you should have enough cold resist to at least survive, and again, with the camp, you can always just respawn at it. It is what it is, but once you've looted Mooseville Sweet Factory and you've activated the Rift Anchor, important that you do that so you get those crystals, you should have some stuff you can disassemble. So let's see if we got any electronic parts, and we got 7. So now we can craft the mask that we need. So we're going to go ahead and go to... let's see, craft armor, and then the mask, and we're making the raid mask. We're making tier 1, of course, and there we go. So when we put on the mask, we have the 2-piece set bonus, which is max load plus 20. So now we can carry more stuff. Very, very good. Awesome. Oh, and let's get more mimetic points. So if you push escape, you're going to see the Way of Winter in the top right of your menu, so click that. And let's move this down. So here at Scenario Challenge, you're going to click that. And then as you do these little challenges like place 5 pieces of furniture, this one's real easy to do. It says I placed 1 out of 5. You can just open our build menu, go to furniture, and then all you got to do is, we know how to build a bed, right? But you can also build a mirror just by default with log and glass. So place the mirror, break the mirror. I know breaking a mirror is bad luck, but it's a video game. Don't worry about it. It's not a real mirror. You're not going to get virtual bad luck. All right, so that completes a scenario challenge, and then we can see now that we got 30 Mitsuko marks. And when you complete Mitsuko marks, you get these rewards. So already we've captured 2 deviations. We've used 100 deviant power. That's the butterfly. We've used a sniper rifle to inflict headshot crit damage. So we can just claim all of these, and you could do these as you play. You don't have to do them. You don't have to rush to do them. But, you know, now that we have this reward, we can just click over here. We're going to get the Asterism Crate. I'll explain what that is later in the video, but we got 10 ciphers or mimetic resources, all right? And so with 10 resources, as you know, we now can learn that cooking dishes 2 recipe. So there we go. And since we already have salt and we did a big loot run, we also have butter and cheese and other ingredients. Now we can cook some seriously good stuff. And so we can now cook salty roasted spike mayo, which gives us 10 cold resist instead of 5. But also, very important, we can cook fruit tea from all of those cone flowers, the boiled water we got, and some logs. This will restore sanity without ever having to make sanity gummies. All right, steak combos. We have a lot of meat and a lot of salt, and these things are really good for food. They're also good to sell to vendors early on. So we want to max that out. We want to max out these spike mayos. And it looks like I'm going to need a lot more logs, but hey, we built our base near wood, so that's no problem. Also, all those blueberries you've been picking up, you're going to need glass, but you should make them into sodas. This is for hydration, and they don't go bad. But yeah, you just you want to make sure that you're cooking everything that you can. My crafting queue is full, so you can always make another stove. Pretty simple to do. And remember, when we're done with the stoves, we can always deconstruct them. So don't be afraid to put down multiple crafting stations so that you can get this going much more smoothly and quickly. All right, and then if you close the menu and reopen the menu, you can see what else you can cook. I don't want to use just roasted blueberries, so I'm going to make some more glass so I can have more sodas, because those sell for more, and they're just better overall, and glass is really easy to make. There we go, so that's 99 glass there. We'll do another 99 glass here, why not? And while all of that's working, I'm going to go check those polar bear spawns again. Alright, now before we do the next step, we're going to go to the disassembler and we're going to click the armor icon, and this is everything we don't have equipped, and we want to just shred all of it into just parts. So there we go. Also, any guns you might have picked up or old weapons, you can go ahead and shred those too. There we go. And yeah, so now we can craft higher cold resist armor. And so again, right now we are wearing, if we go to our gear, we're wearing the rustic jacket and the raid pants. So that's what we want to craft. So we're going to go to the rustic jacket here. Again, we're still crafting tier 1 gear. But this time, we're going to switch the deer hide, or rather the, whatchamacallit, the reindeer hide, over to, oh, where's it at? It's hard to see sometimes. There it is, the bear skin. So bear skin gives frost resist plus 10. Also recovers 3% HP when you defeat an enemy if it's at 10% or below. So very good stuff. That gives you a way to heal yourself. There we go. Now we have that jacket, and then we do the same for the pants. And again, we're using that bear skin for the same effect. And now we just added plus 10 to our overall cold resist. We're going to go ahead and swap that on. So again, you can see here, this is bear skin, this one says reindeer hide. We want the bear skin shirt and the bear skin pants. Also, when I was looting, I managed to loot this pistol. This is dropped gear. Dropped gear cannot be repaired or upgraded, and it's not ideal to use it, so I'm just going to unequip it. And we're going to disassemble that as well. Now, we're going to disassemble that old armor we had, get some parts back, and anything we might have looted from earlier. So everything's disassembled. We're then going to open the chest and then sort it all by pushing H and put everything else in that we might have that's new. Go over to our smelting chest and then again put everything in here as well. so everything's nice and stored up. Now, crystals is something that, you know, you're going to be getting from chests, and also leftovers. We're gonna be crafting leftovers later for repairs, but not right now. And we're gonna put these back in our chest so that our carry weight is very low. How is our ammo looking? 463. Our torch HP is a little low, so we're just gonna repair the torch real quick with pushing H on the torch. There we go. Go ahead, hold F, confirm. Now, another thing too is, can we craft a better melee weapon? We can craft the baseball bat at tier 2 with bronze ingot, logs, and rubber. So this does 249 damage, and it deals some extra blunt damage, but also, we can't craft the tier 2 torch because we don't have cotton fabric. So we're going to craft a tier 2 baseball bat, and we're going to use that as a melee weapon for farming and killing mobs and clearing areas, because it deals a lot more damage than a tier 1 torch. It does about 100, yeah, it does 100 extra damage, so that's quite a bit. But also, we're going to improve our damage just slightly by going to Cradle, and then going to Cradle on the right side, and we're going to equip some things. So we're using a sniper rifle, so we're going to equip, this is called Anti-Phase, for more sniper rifle damage, and then we can use this if we want to heal ourselves, or if we want resilience, it doesn't matter. But as we level, we're going to unlock more of these to use, and more slots to put stuff into, making our character even stronger. One other thing we can also do is push J. This opens the Journey tab, and we're going to claim all of these that we've been doing so far. And again, I haven't been focusing on this. We're just, it's just something that we've done naturally, like build a storage crate, you know, build a mirror, whatever, you know, build a supply workbench. And this is going to give us XP. It's going to level us up, giving more of those mimetic points. That's the whole point of this chapter of the video, is getting mimetic points. So again, this just levels us up, and leveling up is a good thing in this game because, again, it unlocks more stuff. Alright, so again, instead of doing the main story quest, Northern Lifeline, we are going to go just south of Rift Anchor Mouseville, or Mooseville, whatever it's called, and we're going to do this level 10 Securement Silo. So, again, it's just right down here, but on the way, we're going to grab this teleport tower. And again, you want to smash these little, these ice cube things. Also, I'm burning to death, so I'm just going to put down I'm freezing to death, so I'm going to put down a camp, because I didn't eat my buff food or anything. Looks like I didn't bring any logs or gravel, so... Oh no, I'm just going insane from the lunar event. I'm not actually freezing to death. And, now where did I... Where was that ice cube? I, like, panicked. There it is. Alright, so... this one is the hammer compensator. Again, you get energy leaks and stuff. It's right here. So here is Mooseville, Sweet Factory, and it's right in this corner right here. Anyway, I'm on the way to the teleport tower. Yeah, even though it was a false flag scare, make sure that you have plenty of logs on you, and again, some gravel. Just grab some copper, whatever. Just get that gravel. I'm gonna pick up this iron too because it's right here. And we need lots of iron later. It all gives gravel, it's all good. Now, when you get to the silo, you're going to want to talk to T-Man and get his quest. There we go. That way, whenever we beat the silo, we will get some extra rewards. It's just extra XP, energy links, which is currency in this game. And we're going in by ourselves. It's recommending level 10. Now, again, we're going in with no HP, and we have a sanity issue. But we have the items to heal ourselves. We're totally fine. It's not a big deal. And what we're going to do is, first things first, if you have any ice cubes, that heals your sanity plus 500. There we go. Super easy sanity cure. And again, it didn't cure all of it, so there we go. Now we're going to just use some activators. Pop those. Also, our character's a bit hungry, so we will eat a steak combo. And, you know, we'll hydrate with just regular boiled water because I'm lazy, whatever. And, yeah, we have juice if we want to use that. I like to use things that also, like, decompose. Roasted hawthorn. We picked some of this up from our loot run. We didn't cook this, but it's the crappier food item. This one gives us a food buff. And inside what is this? The silo. Inside the silo, we don't have to worry about our temperature. So we're free to use the baseball bat and the sniper. And again, just top yourself off and keep yourself healed. And there we go. Everything's good. Now, again, we want snipers so that we can easily kill enemies with headshots. And, yeah, this makes the dungeon very easy. But also, you have good enough armor that you can just run up and baseball bat beat down every single body that you want. So again, you just hit them with the bat. That's a one-shot right there. So again, we're just one-shot all the enemies. I actually animation canceled that swing. Yeah, using a heavy hit, no problem. Also, you can deal with the enemy snipers with your own sniper, although I'm hitting the chain link there, so boo, but you get the idea. Alright, anyway, the dungeon is very straightforward. There's no real puzzles to have to figure out or anything. Just kill all the dudes, loot everything. You're mainly doing this for the scrap loot and the XP. That's basically it. And again, it resets every 4 hours using that timer I showed you earlier. Alright, once you've defeated the boss, super easy with the sniper rifle, might I add. You can get the Invincible Sun. You can use this over the butterfly if you want. I still like the butterfly better. And use your controller on the chest here so you can get some early mods. And we got Secluded Strike, Slow and Steady. You really want something called, it's like something Reaper. I forget. It's a boot mod. It reloads your gun when you get some kills. It makes things a little easier. So you can run this a few times if you want. I'm not going to because it's not that important. But you do want to run this every time the items reset, so you can do another loot run and get loot for scrap. And then after the silo, talk to T-Man, and that will complete the quest. And you'll get some extra XP, energy links, not much else though. Sadly, they didn't really tune the quests too well in this game mode. Again, you didn't really hardly get anything for that. Now, go north from the silo to Mouseville, or Mooseville, whatever this is. And you want to loot everything here, but do not start the quest, because there is a bug that when we start a certain part of this quest chain, it resets all the loot in this area while we're doing a instanced version of the quest, so we can double down on loot. Now, one thing I want to teach you about navigation is that you can use your motorcycle as a stepping stool. So to get to this, just jump on the motorcycle and climb up. It's really, really simple. And you're going to get used to using this motorcycle often for this kind of thing. Also, I'm being attacked and I can't move because I'm locked in a cutscene. But yeah, you can jump on the motorcycle as kind of a booster seat of sorts. And that'll get you to places way easier than what the game originally designed or intended. So once you've looted the area, you can go ahead and sit in the chair here, and this will trigger the quest. We'll go ahead and talk to Hot Dog here. Oh man, what a name. Look at the stuff happening in the background. So this starts an instanced dungeon of sorts, and due to lazy devs, all the loot boxes are now ready to loot once again. So we're going to ignore what the quest wants us to do, and we're going to loot the zone again. That's right. Now, if you're curious if you can fail this quest and then start it over to get the loot again, no, you can't. It's just a separate instance that you can loot twice. And you may be thinking, well, what if I never progress the story or whatever? Well, then you're going to not be able to do too much. So, again, this is just a low-level zone. And again, it wants us to kill all these enemies, but we're just going to ignore that and run around the whole zone and loot everything again. And when I say zone, I just mean this little area. So right in here. I don't mean over here. The rest of the map doesn't load correctly. And yeah, it says failed. Hot Dog is heavily wounded. So you can kill some of them, leaving one alive. They'll get stuck outside, and then you're free to loot the whole zone. And there is a chance that they actually patch this at some point. But again, you just start the instance over again. And like I said, you can just kill, you only need to kill 7 of them, right? Oh, it wants me to hide behind the bar first. Okay, and that spawns the enemies. So you run over here, boop, and then he's like, watch out, dude. And then you just kill 6 out of 7. Pretty simple. Alright, I don't need to show you this. You can figure it out on your own. Also, if it's not obvious, you can just restart the quest when it says hide behind the bar. With Hot Dog, you just don't, and then you just go loot everything around the little town here. You can't loot the Morphic crate or Mimetic crates, unfortunately, but everything else, the gear crates and the weapon crates are all fair game. So you essentially double down on loot, and there's no enemy spawns. So you have, like, the entire zone is quite peaceful. Once you've completed the quest and looted the zone, you should probably be overweight, so just simply teleport back home. Disassemble once again, and you should have plenty of stuff to disassemble. Look at all those electronic parts, plastics, and so on. We have tier 2 materials that we can use if we want. We have a whole lot of things now that we can use. And what this means is you can now craft the intermediate supplies workbench. So we can go ahead and break down our first one, put down the intermediate one, which it's a little bit bigger, takes up more space. But with this workbench, we can now craft the steel pickaxe, and there we go. Once crafted, go to the wrench here, and you're going to replace your bronze one, and then disassemble your bronze one. That way you don't accidentally use it when gathering. Alright. Now, before we do anything else, we need to do a death run. We're going to go into a highly dangerous area, level 19 zone, and we're just going to get a blueprint, essentially. So you're going to go right here to this abandoned mine floor 2. Just right-click the rift anchor, and you're going to drive along this road. There will be a teleport tower to get along the way, so stop and get that. Now, you're going to want to make a camp near the stronghold. This is as close as I could get, kind of at this little dip here. Also, the teleport tower is right here, the Taiga exclusion zone. And I took the south road to get here. You can also take this road to get here. It doesn't matter which way. But around right here at the entrance, there is a morphic crate we need for the gun we want to have. And it should be right around here on the right. Now, this is a dangerous area, and we might die. That's why we set up the respawn point. But, yeah, we're just going to go right here. You can see it's right on top of these boxes. And, we'll probably die grabbing it, maybe, since I have, like, no HP or sanity. But we'll just try to yoink it before getting shot. Let's see if we get it. And I'm mashing F. Got it. Okay, cool. So we died, but we did get the blueprint. Again, you could always also kill these guys. They're only level 20. It's not a big deal. Oh, no, I dropped some ammo, dude. But while we're here, we want to get that teleport tower, and we can drive straight to it. So just set your waypoint to the tower, and you're going to go up a spiraling road to the top. It's real simple stuff. So once you've got that teleport tower, again, it's very straightforward. You just follow the path to the top. The game will guide you there. You're going to open your inventory, go to blueprints, and go to, these are rifles. And now we have the Autumn Equinox frag. And you're going to hold F to fuse it. This will allow you to craft this weapon. And what this weapon does, it triggers something called Fortress Warfare, which is it's not the best buff, but it's a self-healing. This weapon will allow you to heal 4% of your HP per second while Fortress Warfare is active, and it also lets you deal more damage when your health is nearly full. So it's a really strong weapon, and we're going to go ahead and craft the Tier 2 version of this weapon. So go ahead. You should have the pieces, the ingredients from all the loot runs we've done. You should have more than enough pieces to craft everything. And so, again, Tier 2, this thing does pretty good damage. There we go. And then you're going to craft steel ammo for this. And to craft steel ammo, you'll have to learn how to craft steel ammo. So we're right here in crafting. We have ammunition 1, and then you just need to learn ammunition 2. There we go. And now and since our base is located around lots of steel, you should have no problems crafting steel rifle ammo. And we have plenty of gunpowder from all the loot runs we've been doing, so you're just going to need more steel ingots is all. So, yeah, time to go farm more steel. Also, let's see what mimetic I get, because I am level 15. Let's see, proficient. Oh, that's another good one, dude. That is minus 30% resource consumption and smelting time. And this means it costs less acid later on for aluminum and tungsten. That's on week 2. The ammo one at 50% more ammo is really good. However, it's not as good as precision refining. So, yeah. We are 3 for 3 on mimetics, man. This is super lucky. Insanely lucky. But remember, we have to break those furnaces and put them back down. So, smash all your old furnaces. There we go. And, you know, slap down the new ones. Awesome. That way they have that buff in the top right corner. So, steel at the Woodland Ranch Teleportation Tower is more west and east. So, like, just kind of harvest in, like, kind of a wide swooping area right around here in all the little brown areas. Now, sometimes the way this works, too, is you can harvest the iron right next to the teleport tower. And then you can switch worlds and mine the iron again, and switch worlds and mine the iron again. And by the time you loop back around to the original world, like right now I'm on world 3. So I'm going to switch to World 1, and we're just going to do a full run here. And you can see this time it's copper for some reason, it's whatever. But there we go, grab the iron, and then we switch to World 2 and grab the iron, and by the time we make it back to World 3, it'll be back, because the way that the spawning of nodes works is that if no one's around, it de-renders the entire area from memory or something. Like, it just unloads that part of the world map if there's no actual players around to witness it. And so when you enter the zone, it refreshes like, oh, there's a player here, and then it gives you the nodes back, but not this time. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And remember, don't forget to visit your good old pal the polar bear, because we need their skins for that cold resist. We're going to be upgrading our armor to tier 3 and tier 2 and tier 3, and so we need bear skins for all of those upgrades. Now, once you've crafted enough steel rifle bullets, you can hold R when you have the rifle out, and then mouse wheel down to equip the steel rifle bullets. You can also push K, and then you can go to your weapon here, and you can modify it, go to accessories, and change out the ammo that way. But this is just the easier way to do it, is just hold your reload button R, and it lets you swap between ammo types. Now, next, I would normally recommend skipping tier 2 and going straight to tier 3 in most scenarios, but this one is pretty tough. So what you want to do now is upgrade all of your armor pieces that you're currently equipping. You still want the set bonus, so you want rustic helmet, raid mask, rustic gloves, rustic boots, rustic jacket, and raid pants. You want to upgrade these to tier 2, and when doing the chest piece and the legs, you want to use bear hides. Because tier 2 gives you a lot more HP than tier 1. You can see here the difference is about 50 HP. That's going to let you tank more hits. Very important stuff, and we have the materials for it. It's just going to make the rest of the farming runs way easier if we do this. There's no rush to do it. Again, Way of Winter is way slower paced, so it's going to take some time. Next up, you're going to be doing Securement Silo EX1, which at Mooseville Sweet Factory, it's southwest. You should be able to see it on your map. We live very, very close to it. It is right down here, just down the road from our home base. And with a tier 2 gun that heals you whenever you shoot enemies and casts Fortress Warfare, and with your tier 2 armor, which I don't even have enough materials for full tier 2. I'm missing the boots. It's actually doable. And even though you can do this silo without killing everything, just running to the boss, you don't want to do that. You want to kill everything in here. This is kind of like a mob grind run for leveling up. We need to hit level 20, but also we need to grab all the loot from the dungeon so that we can scrap it. But we need to be level 20 in order to wear tier 3 gear. And this dungeon, the boss in it is a DPS race. If you don't deal enough damage to the boss, he heals himself, and that's why we're decked out in full tier 2, to be able to basically burn him down. And make sure you bring a lot of bullets. I'm carrying 6,000 rifle rounds, and I'm expected to use most of these. Another thing, too, is since we have a rifle, we're going to be switching our cradle to rifle, so we don't need the sniper one anymore. We can go ahead and swap that sniper one out. And then we can add something like Tactical Combo, giving us some more damage. And since we don't do status damage or really care about summoning deviations or anything, this is good. We have Anti-Void, Rapid Aid, and Tactical Combo. But because we've been doing some loot runs and some silos, we do have mods we need to start equipping. So you're going to right-click your weapon, your main weapon, don't worry about your sniper offhand, and your armors, and you're going to click this little mod box and just equip anything that looks good, like weapon damage +9, sure, why not? Sounds good to me. On the boots, if you have that Reaper thing, that'll give you reloads. If not, just equip whatever looks good. Let's see, this 8% weapon damage, it's 16 if I have more HP. Well, this one gives me 12 weapon damage if enemies aren't close. Let's go with that one. Again, don't be too sticky, picky, whatever about what mods you equip. Just slam on something in every slot. We're going to be upgrading these later anyway. So yeah, just put on whatever. Now, before we head out, we want to make sure we're storing as much crap as we can because we want a ton of carry weight. So again, just make sure that you're storing every little thing that you got. You don't want to have any extra weight on you, so Get out of here, steel. So we're still at 75% load, which is a lot. So we need to store more stuff. So all that food we crafted earlier can start weighing us down, and so we're just going to store most of it. You don't have to store all of it, but again, food weighs quite a bit sometimes, and a lot of it's going to spoil, and that's fine. And we're going to sell it before most of it spoils. It's okay. Oh, the water does weigh a lot. Yeah, we don't need to carry so much water around, but yeah, so storing most of this food is lowering our carry weight quite substantially. And again, just manage that inventory. Oh, and by the way, you should start taking care of your motorbike, so go to Memetics. We have the points for it. Go up here to Building, and then learn Garage. There we go. And then we're going to build ourselves a garage by going into the Build menu, Facilities, Production Processing, and then you have to scroll down in the window under Production Processing, and then click Garage. There we go, and just slap one down. It takes rusted parts and copper ingots, so you can build this very early. And then this is how you repair your vehicle. Just take some copper and some rusted parts. Also summon your vehicle and make sure that you push G on it to refuel it and then fill it full of fuel. If you've been looting cars like I told you to at the start of the video, you should have plenty of fuel left. And you just need to do this every once in a while so that your vehicle is in tip-top shape. Now, when you get to the silo, make sure you talk to T-Man and get the quest, because we want the experience for the quest reward. And remember, with your baseball bat, your tier 2 baseball bat, it's one heavy swing, one light swing, that takes them down. And you can switch to your gun if you want to heal, but we mainly use the gun to kill elites or very large swarms of enemies. And while the gun does kill them quicker, like right now, because we two-shot them, it's just real easy to use the bat. But like in a room like this, where there's just a lot of enemies, it's going to be a lot easier to just shoot them, especially this boss enemy right here. And if you notice, when we're in this green field, it does heal our HP over time. But you'll see that there's like a little green circle debuff in the kind of middle left side of our life bar. Like to the left of our life bar, you'll see that red circle. It just now disappeared. That is your cooldown on your weapon's ability to summon that circle. So again, this is a self-healing circle. That's why we went and got this gun early. Because it makes just a sustained fight like this so much easier, right? And you could use aim down sights if you want. Like, you don't have to, like, over the shoulder it if you don't want to. But this gun makes this dungeon and all dungeons so much easier. And now, if you wanted to continue with this weapon throughout your entire playthrough, you would have to focus on a Fortress Warfare build. And the sad thing is that one of the better boots for this build is only available in Mana Bus, unless you randomly pull it from the Wish Machine, which is a gacha gambling mechanic that this game has. Not really ideal, but once you kill that boss enemy and loot his keycard, instead of going through the doorway like the game wants you to, instead you should go over here and get some extra loot. Just a little tip. Also, if you see random floating weird-looking objects, you can shoot them, and if you shoot 3 of them, it's basically bonus dungeon loot. It's kind of a neat new thing that they have added. Well, maybe not too new, but it's definitely interesting for sure. Alright, and again, this weapon works wonders. Look at it heal us over time. It's so nice to have. It's just free heals, man. I love it. Alright, so the solution to move on in the dungeon is as follows. And there's actually a secret hidden room, too, by the way. It's down here, I believe. I'm pretty sure. It might be in the first area. Yeah, it's in the... I'll show you the secret room, because it's extra loot. So, once you come down the winding stairway, you're in the first room here, and on the bottom floor, there is a jail cell that's open with a crack in the wall. And then you come in here, and there's some extra loot to grab, so make sure that you grab it. Because I know a lot of people, like, I see a lot of YouTubers and streamers when they're doing this dungeon, they just miss this part entirely. And yeah, there's a way to basically blow a hole in the wall and skip straight down here, but it's not really worth doing. But anyway, so the solution is, of course, when we go to the right here in this hallway, we're going to open a panel on the wall, this thing here, that's going to open all the jail cells. And I know I told you to kill all the enemies, but the deviants here, they don't really give a lot of XP, like I'll show you. Like, this guy gave, what, 38? It's okay, I guess. But you're going to run through here, and then this area has a bunch of humanoid enemies you can kill, and the XP is better, and they drop gunpowder, so you might as well just farm them here. Oh, and as soon as you enter this area, just go ahead and open the jail cells. That way you can start killing the deviants too. You have to open the jail cells to progress to the next zone anyway. So, again, just circle your way around, killing everything. And yeah, whenever the lights turn red, you don't have to worry about being lasered because there's a magical wall here. But if you don't move, you can basically kill all the enemies in your line of sight if you're not frozen. So this boss is essentially a DPS race, and he's got like a little lump at the bottom of this box here, and yeah, just shoot him in kind of like this little area right here, and you'll be just fine. And yeah, he summons ads, and he has a shield around him, so you do have to get close. You can't sit back and snipe him. And obviously, whenever the light turns red, you can't move, but you can still aim and shoot. And again, it's a DPS race, because whenever he reapplies that teddy bear, he will heal a bunch of life. But our weapon should deal more than enough damage, so you just sit here and machine gun him, no problems. You can also shoot the teddy bears, like right up in here, too. Again, super easy boss. He just kind of AFKs a bit, like he's stunned. So, it's not a hard fight, it's just a DPS race. Also, what? He teleported away? I've never seen him teleport, that's interesting. Alright, so, again, we're about to get him. And you can, you know, use the bat and smash into him, but this is just more DPS, so... There we go, easy boss. Again, it's just a DPS race before he resummons the teddy bear. That's all you gotta do. And then you get your little deviant here, the Hydronaut fish, if I said that right. It's a really crappy summon. And then, again, use your controllers, you'll get mask mods. Depending on what build you want to go, it is what it is. But you also get tier 3 weapons here, which disassemble into parts that we need for tier 3 equipment, so it's a good way to farm that. Kind of, sort of, but you don't want to use all your controllers. Now, in the future, I think in like a couple weeks after this video has been filmed, they're getting rid of controllers, so you can technically farm this indefinitely. But we just wanted to run the dungeon for some XP. It took me 13 minutes, not a lot of time. We looted everything, we killed mostly everything. We turned in the quest to G-Man. That might get us to 18, maybe. But we're going to keep doing main story quests now that we're in full tier 2. And the zones that the quests send us to will be a lot easier with this gear. So let's get that quest turned in. And that is... No, we're still... Well, yeah, we're 18. Yeah, we dinged 18 inside. So there we go. Now, you'll notice the silo gives us tier 3 parts. This is important because we have refined parts and fireproof plastic. However, I don't recommend that we use these parts for weapons and armor. Not yet. Alright? Not yet. Anyone know that meme where the kid's like pooping himself when he plays his mom busts in the room? And she's like, "You're shitting yourself. Go to the bathroom." And he's like, "Not yet." So every time I say not yet, I think of that damn meme video. Anyway, so with that said, we can now learn electronics. And so to do that, we are going to go to the second one here, which is, I believe, not crafting, not building. Is it not under logistics? Yes, it is logistics. So we go to logistics, the third one. We scroll down to solar powered generator, and we learn that bad boy. There we go. And we're going to go to the we're going to go to the intermediate supplies workbench. And we're going to craft fuses. Alright, fuses cost copper, glass, and metal scraps. And we want to craft 12. So, there we go. Go ahead and craft 12 of those bad boys. Yes, it uses a lot of copper. That's fine. And then while that's crafting, we're then also under infrastructure. We're going to unlock electro refining. There we go. Very important to get that. And then also, we're going to go to logistics, finally, and learn electric stoves. That's right, electric stoves. And if you want, you can learn refrigeration, but we'll worry about that later. It's not important right now. Food spoiling is actually a good thing. We need that to grow crops if we want to go down that path. So we can now get rid of, well, we got rid of the furnaces and get rid of the stoves. We don't need them anymore. Digby boys, what the hell? Oh, I was like, did my cages disappear? What's going on there? But yeah, there we go. Also, another good one to have, because we've been getting more, whatchamacallit, deviations, is, oh, where are you at? It is, hold on, let me find it. Alright, so under logistics right here at the top, next to electric stoves is Securement Unit Expansion 1. This lets you have a total of 10 cages, so we're going to unlock that, because I have a bunch of critters that I want to put out, and so again, this is something that requires copper and glass, and I don't quite have enough copper, but we need to get our furnace down, and we also need to get our solar generator down. So we're going to take some of those fuses that are crafting right now, and we need 3 fuses per generator, or solar generator. We could craft a total of 4. So there we go. Just put these bad boys down. That's 1, 2, 3. And we don't have enough fuses for the 4th one because it's not done crafting yet. So let's skip ahead a bit. And right when I stopped recording, it finished. Cool. Alright, so that's just YouTube for you. Okay, so we put the 4th one down, and here's how I like to do the power. I'm going to push X to attach wire, and attach all of these in a daisy chain. Now, don't do this in real life, and then take the 4th one and loop it back around to the 1st one. Alright, so that's an easy way to do that. Now I'm going to go to production processing, and we have the electric furnace, and we're just going to put 1 down for now. There we go. And then we're going to attach this to any of these, and there we go. That is now powered. We also have our intermediate stove. I need more steel and copper. Let me, oh, we have a furnace for that. So yeah, now you'll notice we don't need logs or charcoal to cook anymore. It's a good day. And check this out. I'm crafting 99 copper ingots, and then I can craft these 9 steel ingots. And look, they craft at the same time. You can craft 2 stacks at the same time in one furnace. Isn't it great? Now, obviously, I got some mining to do, so I'm going to go do that. Now, one thing to mention is you can mine aluminum ore with your steel pickaxe. You won't mine much at a time, and you can't smelt it until the 2nd week, but you'll get some decent XP for mining it. It's worth about 1 mob kill, so it is kind of worth doing, but don't overdo it. Like, I wouldn't spend an hour mining aluminum, because the way it works is, in week 2, you mine aluminum, you make an aluminum pickaxe, and then you immediately mine tungsten, and then you make a tungsten pickaxe, and then you mine gold, and then you make a drill. And that's usually the route we go in week 2, and so you don't really use the pickaxe for very long. It's kind of temporary by the 2nd week. Now, one other thing to note, too, is that because Way of Winter is a server that almost everyone transfers to, those people already start with drills. So if you want to be social or barter a bit, then you can technically open the world chat and ask if anyone has a drill for sale, so you're not running around mining like a I don't know, a barbarian or a caveman. That's the word I wanted. Now, the way power works is if you kind of hug your character close to these generators, you can see how much wattage is left in the generators, and because they're all linked, they will siphon from each other when they're low. So, there we go. We have 47 watts remaining, and like a furnace, this costs 5 watts, this costs 3 watts. So, again, we can craft a lot of buildings here, right? And so, now that I have an electric stove, I don't need wood or charcoal to cook anymore, so I just need the ingredients, which means now I can cook all the foods that I want. So, there we go. It's easier just to close and reopen it when cycling through. We have lots of sugar and lots of boiled water so that we can make sanity gummies, but fruit tea is always really the better choice. You know, plenty of glass for sodas, more salt for all the salty roasted spike tomatoes. Go ahead and make some. Oh, my crafting queue is full. But anyway, also, we can only craft 1 at a time on the electric stove. Next week, we can craft an even better stove, which lets us craft 2 at a time. And also, there are mimetics to make your generators give more power, and to increase the maximum amount of generators you can have. But also, as you go down the tech tree, under logistics, later in the 2nd week, you can get more upgrades, giving you even more generators. Now, one other thing that you want to build, right now I have 2 furnaces going, I have the stove going, is you want to build the intermediate supplies workbench, and you'll see I don't have enough standard parts, except I actually do. And that is because, why am I not able to close my menu? And that is because once this furnace is done cooking all of this copper that I had, I'm going to disassemble it, and you can see that the electric furnace costs 10 standard parts. So I will simply just have 1 furnace going, and I really won't need more than 1 furnace. And I will replace this with the intermediate. But right now, I don't need tier 3 gear. I don't even have the materials to get a full set. It's not like a big rush project, so we can continue on now with the main story quest. And besides, we don't even need the workbench until level 20, because anything we craft, we wouldn't be able to equip anyway, and I'll show you this. I actually have some level 20 guns from that silo, like this hammer crumble. It's tier 3. It's required level 20. So even if we can craft stuff, the game won't let us put it on. Now, step 13 is to continue the main story quest, but do not forget your cold resist items. So that means you need to take your thermomium that you have. And by the way, when your helium runs out after 1 hour, it reverts back to thermomium. Thermoium. I can't say that word. So you just recraft the helium once again. That way, that gives you a plus 10 cold resist. Because the next few quests are going to send us to some really cold places. Alright, so you want to make sure you have your helium up for the hour. You want some roasted spiked tomatoes. You want to make sure that your armor and your pants both are made with, dang it, where is it? Bearskin for that plus 10 cold resist. With the 2-piece set, you have another 5 cold resist there. And because it's all tier 2, the enemies will be an absolute pushover. We have plenty of ammo. Our gear is mostly repaired. Well, as you can see, my tier 1 boots aren't. So, you know, it's time for tier 2 boots. I think we have, we have the materials for tier 2 boots. So we'll just slap on the tier 2 boots. We don't even need to repair the tier 1 boots. We can just, you know, break them. And I got my mods on. Everything is modded. Everything's good. We go to the disassembly bench, make sure all of our extra crap that we're not going to be using is disassembled. There we go. And then we stash it all, make sure our carry weight is low, and we're ready to go out and quest. By the way, before we go to Camp Igloo, which is where Windy is at, by the way, the game shows you on the map, this is where we're going. Grab all your food out of storage, because it's getting close to spoilage now, and we're going to sell it to the vendor, so we have a bunch of energy links. And all you got to do is go into that, you know, little dome there. I'll cut to that. So once we're inside the dome, before we vendor, we're going to check and make sure there's no more Digby boys. And there is a Digby boy. We definitely want to take advantage of that Digby boy. And Scylla here is the vendor. So we're going to talk to Scylla, open the shop, go to sell here. At the top of the screen, you can see the sell button. And we want to go under cost. And then what we want to do is we want to sell everything we're not using. So canned lunch meat, yeah, I'm just going to sell that because I think it's better to sell it. The fruit tea, I'm going to sell most of those. I'm going to sell most of the steak combos. And, yeah, we can sell, again, most of these. A lot of the blueberry sodas, just get rid of those. And, again, I'm keeping a little bit for myself, but most of them I'm just going to sell. And you'll notice here, at the bottom here, the vendor has 42,495 energy links remaining for the week. And you want to empty out the vendors every week, which we're going to easily be able to do by mass crafting salt and other foods and other products, really. But, again, just sell a whole bunch of your food and get those numbers down. And, again, it's free money. You might as well just kind of empty out most of your stuff. Don't sell your healing items. Don't sell your tools or explosives. And don't sell your materials. Only sell the food, okay? Like, these 11 Hawthorne juices, don't need them. Sell, like, 9 of those, okay? Again, just keep your food nice and low. So the game wants us to go south to Fort Obsidian, which we have the teleport tower near Mooseville. So go ahead and take that, and then just drive south of that Delta Securement Silo right down here. There's also a teleport tower down here you can grab on the way. Now, if you're playing super late, like on a weekday, like a work day or something, and you see this truck... This is, again, I told you not to do this. This is the cargo conquest. You can try to do it, but if people show up with, because, again, this is a transferable server. You have to shoot the truck to stop it, so I'm just going to sit here and get its life bar down. Yes, I'm only dealing 1 damage, but it doesn't have a lot of life. Now, if no one shows up, you could AFK this event. You just sit here, a jellyfish will go over your head, and you'll collect free points. It's real simple. You'll get some polar jellies for doing this. But most likely, players show up on these events, and they're going to be more geared than you. They're going to have epic, legendary mods that are, like, kitted out like crazy. They're going to have a full synergized kit, and you really can't compete. So, again, here's how this event works. I know there's no one around to show, but when the jellyfish is on your head, you can be attacked by every other player. Whenever you don't have a jellyfish on your head... all the players that don't have a jellyfish on their head are trying to kill the person with the jellyfish. And when the jellyfish is on your head, you acquire sproutlets. which I have 48 of right now. You can see in the middle left side of my screen below my quest log, that is the amount of sproutlets that I have currently. Sproutlets are used in town. Remember when we were just here at Camp Igloo? The lady Nisa, I believe is her name, with the jellyfish on her head. She is the vendor where you can exchange sproutlets for acid, gasoline, and mods. Now, every once in a while, the jellyfish will fly off your head. It will seek someone else to attach to, but because we're the only one here, it will attach back to us. And the way it works is when it's on your head and you're killing other players, well, you're really just downing them. You're not actually killing them. It increases the duration that the jellyfish is on your head and gives you some extra sproutlets. So you are incentivized to fight back. And these things, if you're wondering what they are, they're just cover. You just hide behind them and then pop out and shoot players. That's it. That's all it is. So yeah, if you want, if you can, AFK this, but again, when another player shows up, they will down you. You will just be able to stand back up after a few seconds and continue fighting, but you most likely won't be able to do any damage to them because they are so overgeared. Now, if I was actually playing this character normally, I would stay here and get all the points, but for the sake of the guide, I'm not going to stick around. I just wanted to explain to you what this was and how it works. Alright, so right here is the teleportation tower, and again, just continue following the quest chain to get to Insider of Fort Obsidian. Again, I have text in the way, I know, but that's just how it is. Alright, so if you are following the quest marker, here's the solution. You just run into the house, and this is trial and error, so if you mess it up, it's not like permanent, but you just talk to this Micah guy. There we go, just go ahead and talk to him. And you want to choose the third option every time, alright? So you want to say, it is a blessing and a miracle. Then you want to say, to bring them to the light. And then you want to say, and he claps so awkwardly, serve them loyally. Look at him clap. Dude has, he's got the tism. Also, his friends are trying to kill me. So we're just going to beat him up. So there you go. You don't have to do this step. It's just for stupid roleplay purposes. Also, there's a paper doll in here. And you're going to want a bunch of paper dolls for week 2 at least. But until then, you don't have to really worry too much about getting them. But yeah, then you're just going to follow the quest line right up down here. Also, if you want to loot the whole area, you can. It's not very optimal. You don't get a whole lot of supplies, and it's the lower tier stuff, and we're already, like, we're on the way to tier 3 things. You can, again, you can stop and loot and explore and kill all the dudes, but they're low-level enemies. They don't give good XP. They're really not worth it. I just tend to bum rush the quests for a little while, because we just want to ding 20 ASAP. Also, you can just kind of run past the enemies. They're not very strong. I mean, yeah, some are level 14, what do you do? But I just run straight for the quests. I don't really bother with them. I mean, I'll kill a few. Let's see, like this guy, or girl, whatever she is. 25 XP, what do you do? It's not going to really change too much. But, again, I just bum rush the quest. It's very straightforward. You follow the quest markers. Nothing too confusing about it. Alright, and then after you blow the base, teleport to your base. And by teleporting to your base, this allows you to teleport back to Camp Igloo. It's way faster than driving out of there, which I've seen every Twitch streamer do that's new to this game. It's like, bro, just teleport. Come on, just teleport. Like I'm screaming at a stream. I know they can't hear me. Next up, the game wants us to go to the Taiga Containment Center. Well, guess what? Remember earlier when we did that death run to get the gun? Hey, look, we already have the teleport tower right next to it. And it just so happens that this teleport tower overlooks the base, so we can just drop in from the top. It makes it real easy to do. So here we are. You simply just glide on down. Now what I recommend is you go over here to the helicopter, because that's where the rift anchor is. You see that purple glowing line? We want to go there first, get the rift anchor, and then we'll do the quest. Also, this area gets really cold, but we've already done all the work of getting cold resist, so we don't have to worry about it. So again, we've already solved all the problems. Now, if you were to play this game mode blind, as in you don't know what you're doing or where you're going, like every single person I've watched, including myself when I ran through this the first time, I was just freezing to death constantly. And in here, you can't build a camp to respawn at. You have to build it outside the camp, and it's just a pain in the butt. It's just a real freaking nightmare, man. But yeah, this area, there's some okay loot. I would mostly stick to the weapon and gear crates, but even the storage crate like that one has a beryllium crystal in it. And you can also use these elevators even though the game isn't very intuitive about it. Like, I hit the button. You just have to, you know, wait for it to slowly open. And that's a way to traverse these bases. It's a little awkward. So when you get to this main lobby, there's like a big dude with a shield. You kill the big dude with the shield. He drops the key card. You can then run over here, use this little kiosk, and that gets you inside for the quest. When the game wants you to take a photo of the engineering plan, don't push print screen, hold tab, and then swipe to the camera in the bottom left, and then you just have to push enter to take a photo. There you go. Push escape. Don't worry, it's not going to save it anywhere or anything. And then we'll just snap that, and there we go. And that's how you do that quest. The game doesn't really exactly explain how to use the camera. Alright, continuing the main story quest, we're going to go west to the second town, Whalebone. And there's a teleport tower here to get. There's also one around here. As long as you follow this road, you'll see it. Just go ahead and stop and grab it too. Now, one tip for dealing with this town is to just make a camp outside in the upper areas somewhere, like on high ground, because this base is in like a crater and it's annoying to get out of. Also, the walking bus that you can only loot once a day, it's once a day per zone. So this is a new walking bus in a different zone, so you can go ahead and grab it too, though it decided to stop kneeling when I approached it. Oops. Alright, so this quest is very straightforward. You simply loot this box, and you get the stun baton, and you equip it, and you don't get to keep it, unfortunately. You only get it temporarily, but you just follow the quest markers, and go where it tells you, attacking these things as you go. It's really simple. You don't need to watch me do it. Well, funny thing, I put my camp up here so I could teleport to it, and then the camp is gone, which is super weird. Don't know why it deleted my camp, but I'd rather just go to this teleport tower and drive here rather than try to climb out of this crater. Alright, once you get to Bear's Den, we're going to grab the teleporter here at the Avalanche Monolith, and then we're going to make our way towards the Hive Rail restricted area, and there is a teleporter right around here as well to grab. While you're here at this monolith, go ahead and run inside, and on the right should be a gear crate. There it is. You want to grab this because it has crystals, gear, mods, and so on. We got Unstoppable. Not really the best one, but again, it's alright for loot, something we need to just grab every once in a while. Once you get the teleport tower, Hive Rail Cave Teleportation Tower, I would recommend also putting down a camp. Hopefully it sticks around for you, because, I don't know, I've been having problems with these things despawning during the recording of this video. But we're going to proceed along with the quest here. Now, it recommends level 23, but we're geared enough for it. And so we can proceed inside with tier 2 gear. It's a little tough, I'm going to admit, it's a little bit tough, but it's not the worst. And you want to loot as much stuff as you can in here because this is tier 3 materials. So while you're here at the Hive Rail restricted area, you should loot as much as you can. For the sake of the YouTube video, I'm not going to do that, but to push tier 3 gear, you definitely want to be looting this place. Now, I died a few times to the lunar bosses, so don't try to fight those if you're doing the lunar stuff, if that even exists by the time you watch this video, because it's just a seasonal event. But after that quest, it's going to send us over here to the Frost Forge, and yeah. So this area right here, the Frost Forge, is another area that you should absolutely loot and kill dudes and stuff, and follow the quest markers. But for the sake of the YouTube video, I'm just going to skip showing you that, because I think you get the idea by now. Now, as you head down the ice tunnel, you're going to see a new type of ore. You might have seen this while roaming the world, but if you throw a Molotov at them, it's going to heat them up. There we go. And it's going to, again, it'll change the way they look a little bit. I don't even know if I hit this one properly, but now that they are heated, you can mine them and get cold crystal ore. So that's how you do these. If you have like a fire or ice dagger, you can also do it. But this one was not heated up, so it's going to explode. Yeah, if you've been following the guide thus far, you'll have plenty of Molotovs to farm these if you want. You don't really need them right now. It's not super important, but now you know. This is one place you can go to get these in, you know, a good quantity. When you have all the stuff planted and you hit the furnace and it wants you to get out of here, the best way out is these crazy hands, the portal in the middle. which you might have to get some air for, but just jump into that portal. It'll get you out in a jiffy. I'm just going to try to use the motorcycle trick and get there. Let's see if we'll grab it. Yeah, we did it. Okay, so there we go. Then there's this guy, and then we can just go through here. And again, the entrance or the quest completion trigger is right over here. So this is the faster way out of the cave, just to give you a little tip. And yes, these guys are level 29. They hit pretty hard. And oh, come on, don't change the camera, I'm stuck. Alright, so what does it want me to do? Return to Bear's Den. Cool, cool. So we just teleport home while we're getting murdered by the vultures, and then we teleport to Bear's Den, turn in the quest. So after that, that is all of the main story quests for the first week completely done. Now, it's telling us to go to Eternal Land. That's just, it's not technically a main story quest. It's something you do eventually, but you don't have to really do Eternal Land if you don't want to. Now, when you push escape here, I'm going to hide the text for a sec. The second week, it'll tell you right here, this is Scattered Ash, and again, I've got 6 more days, 10 hours on this server until we can start week 2's quests. But this video isn't going to cover weeks 2, 3, and 4. Essentially, the game will prompt you, hey, go talk to blah, 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 and then you're going to do the same thing. You already know how to quest. I don't have to keep holding your hand. Yeah, go talk to the NPC, go to the area, you know, scout around, go to the quest marker, talk to this guy, kill this dude. That's basically what you're doing for the rest of the game. But what you need to do for week 1 is very simple. All you need to do now is get your tier 3 gear, which all you have to do is raid this area here, the Frost Forge. You can also raid these other areas on this side of the map, preferably level 20 zones. You'll notice when I'm mousing over places, at the bottom right, it'll show you the level. Like, this area is level 20, so you can, again, raid there. You can't go to this part of the map yet. This opens up on the second week, so, again, you can't go here yet. This is tier 4 and 5 zones. All right, and then, like, down here, you know, this is level 20 zone, so that's tier 3 gear. The silo we did, this is a level 20 silo, so you can go ahead and do that. Also, there's this silo here, this is level 30, and you can do this silo. With tier 3 gear, it's still a bit rough, so I would wait on this silo. There's not a lot of treasure in here, there's not a lot of loot, so it's kind of just something you would do if you want the pants or the top mods. You're not really doing it for scrap loot, okay? Now, for a good scrap loot for tier 2 items is right here on this part of the map. Again, this is the Greenfield Teleportation Tower. You will go here to the Wishland West and Wishland East, and these are massive zones. These are amusement parks. They're huge. They're massive, okay? But you're going to run all over this and loot all the stuff, and that's tier 2. That's some tier 3. There's a lot of stuff in here. It's way too much to cover in this video. And in the big castle in the middle of Wishland East, on like the 3rd floor outside on the castle walls, there is the there's the blueprint for the long axe melee weapon if you want to have that. A lot of people use that as their melee weapon because it casts Fortress Warfare. It's up to you if you want to get it or not. Most people playing this scenario already have it from Mana Bus though. But other than that, there's not really much to collect in week 1. Just get your water purifiers going so you have purified water for crafting. Get your tier 3 gear. You could calibrate your tier 3 gear and make it stronger, but it's kind of a waste of materials because flat tier 5 is stronger than fully calibrated tier 3. So there's really not a whole lot to do. Just do your scrap runs every 4 hours on the item resets in the silo here at Hive Rail restricted area and over here at the Frost Forge. And again, these games had you do quests running through these zones, so you take the exact same path you've been in here. The game forced you to come here for questing. You know where to go, you know the layouts, you know where the loot is. Every 4 hours, just come back, grab some more, especially at this level 20 silo, grab some of that loot, and then there you go. That's all there is to do. And again, I got you fully set up in under a day with a nice cozy base here, where it's you know where to get iron, you know where to get tin, you got the Hales Moving House on the first week, you know where to get dirty water, you know where to get salt water, and yeah, you're all set. You know where to hunt deer and polar bears, and you know, get that. You have cold resist to explore the entire map now without dying. You have all the cold resist items that you could stack. So you're all set there. You have the one weapon the one free weapon at least, that will allow you to self-heal. Alright, but right now your mission is, once you have your tier 3 gear, is to level to 40, because you need to be level 40 in order to equip tier 5 gear. And the easiest AFK way to do that is to just cook salt on stoves. Whenever you take salt water and you go to your electric stove and you cook salt, you just cook stacks of 99 at a time, 5 at a time, with as many stoves as you have the materials for. And right now, well, actually, let me scrap my stuff that I've got. I didn't do too many loot runs because I'm kind of rushing this YouTube video. But yeah, I just got a whole bunch of parts here. So how many more stoves could I technically make just in one, not even a full run? Oh, I can make, yeah, I can make like plenty of stoves. I can make 8, 9, 10 stoves, right? But ultimately, if you can get 20 stoves cooking all, 5 stacks of 99 salt each stack of 99 salt takes about 9 minutes to cook, and it cooks for 89 XP each, times 20, there you go. If you run alt accounts, an alt account is when you log into a separate Steam account, and then link your bases and add yourself to your friends list, you can then have 20 more stoves. And again, it's a little overkill, but you've got 6 whole days left to get to level 40. It's not too hard. Also, killing enemies, killing guards, and looting strongholds is going to get you 60 XP per kill at those higher level ones. So again, that's basically a whole stack of salt cooking. But the salt cooking is AFK. You can totally AFK. You don't even have to play the game. The game just does it automatically. You just got to log in and loot every 40 minutes or so. Also, again, there's not a whole lot to do in Way of Winter, really. You have the gun that heals you whenever you shoot stuff, so it's really nice, but there's no quest to do, and there's nothing really to synergize it. The only other thing you can really do is, as you play and you acquire, whatchamacallit, this stuff, let me find it, Asterism. Alright, Asterism, you open the menu, you go here to Stellar Stairway, and you claim your Asterism, and that gives you Starcrom. So when you have Starcrom, let me open the mimetic screen here. When you have Starcrom, where is the wish machine? You're going to learn this right here under logistics. This is the wish machine. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and learn that. There we go. And then when you build a wish machine under, where is that? A function facility. And I'm going to cut my video recording here because this thing can copyright my whole video and ruin it. So hold on. I just have to be absolutely sure this thing's music isn't playing. Now, I have copyrighted music turned off on my settings, but this one slipped through on a video in the past that I made, and it cost me big time. So when you have the wish machine down, you can go to the blueprint shop, and you can figure out whatever build you want to run. I have plenty of videos on my channel explaining good builds. However, there's not a lot of synergy with key items, and key items are, if we go to blueprints, it's all the armor that has like this little rainbowy glowing thing in the corner here. You can only equip one of these, not per slot, but per build. So if I'm wearing a glowing chest piece, like this explosive front top, I can't also put on a mask with the glowing icon. It won't let me. And so that's how your build is defined. Like, for instance, if you're a burn build, most people use barbecue gloves right here. Well, you can't buy this in the wish machine, and you normally would get this on Manabus through, I believe, a quest gives it to you, or one of the dungeons. I forget where you get this exactly, but it's not available to get here, as far as I know, on Way of Winter. I've Googled it, and I can't find it, so this effectively kills your build if you wanted to run a burn build, which is kind of stupid because the wish machine has you gamble for, hold on. Sorry, I didn't want the cutscene to trigger copyright, but like it wants, like you can gamble for the explosive burn here for the boom boom frag and the dual fury, which you can get a dual fury here for free. You don't need to win it in the wish machine, so it's kind of a scam. But again, this is where you spend your Starcrom on. So, but this is why Way of Winter sucks. It sucks for builds. If you're a new player and you skipped Manabus, you are at a massive, severe gear disadvantage over everyone else. And if you're playing by yourself, there's almost no reason to play this game mode. So, people in my comments begged me, they begged and pleaded with me to make a guide on Way of Winter, what to do, how to start, and blah, blah, blah. And I understand, because it's frustrating as hell to play this game mode if you don't know where everything's at or where to go or what to do. And I looked through, like, 20 pages of YouTube videos looking for a guide that explains, well, what's the best spawn point? Where do you go? What's all the best quick ways to stack cold resist? What's the order of operations of how to get geared quick? No one made the video. So I'm making the video because there's people out there that rely on me for that kind of stuff. And so here you go. Thanks so much for watching my other Once Human content. And I just want to point out another thing, since you made it to the end of the video here, is that all the other main the main YouTubers that cover this game, they all took a sponsorship deal. Every single one of them. And I know this because I was offered the same deal. And in that offer, they were using those other creators' videos as, oh, look at our other creators that accepted this offer, and look at their videos, and look at their blah, 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 and look at how much they're getting paid by our creator program. And so they all sold out, and basically they were forced to sign a contract where they have to play nice and be polite, and they can't be real, and they can't speak their mind or have freedom of speech, because, again, NetEase, the people that, you know, make this game, is from China, and boy, they don't like freedom of speech over there. So anyway, the point is that I'm still a free thinker. I'm not bought out. I'm not sold out. I didn't make this video because some company told me to. I literally made this video because people in my comments were begging me for it, and I just wanted to see if this game mode was worth playing. It turns out it's absolutely garbage and not worth playing. And don't expect more Way of Winter guides coming from me, because I don't have any friends. I don't have anyone to play this damn game with. And there's nothing to get here. Like, all the deviants suck, all the new items, besides this one gun that heals you, sucks. But Fortress Warfare builds are never in meta, because the meta is kill the boss in 20 seconds with your OP-ass build, and then, you know, make a freaking TikTok reel out of it or something, okay? But the point is avoid Way of Winter. Don't play Way of Winter. If you have a bunch of friends making you play it, then just go play Mana Bus again and get new friends. I don't know, man. But that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out some of my other videos. And, you know, I don't make much money doing this. So if you're really well off in the world, like you have a six-figure job and everything's paid for, you have a nice house and a nice neighborhood and stuff, if you want to click that thanks button down below, drop a donation, man, I'd really appreciate it, because it makes my day. It's like the only thing I look forward to when I wake up. Anyway, that's it. See you later. Mwah. Kiss on your foreheads, and click the video on the right side of your screen. If you don't, then no one's going to believe anything you say anymore, I guess.